And we're live.
Hello! Yay! Woo! So, this is... Hey, everybody. This is Lance Stranded Viking. I am broadcasting live from my basement in Moorhead, Minnesota. And I have my good buddy, Joel. What's this Jodorowsky?
Jodorowsky's Dune? You haven't watched that?
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand Jodorowsky's Gen Con. Okay, I didn't. Anyway, Joel, how are we doing, bud?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well. Did you get confirmation of our? Now the cat shows up. Did you get confirmation for our room and everything? Double check the reservation.
Oh yeah.
I hope so, because I've been sending stuff to your room.
Good.
Who is that? Who is that just spoke? It's like there's a third person here.
Yes, hi everybody.
Hey Richard, how we doing, bud?
I'm doing okay. It's midnight. It's probably 80 degrees. Humidity's probably 90%, and I am ready to talk at great length about board games.
But you're like retired, so time doesn't really matter now.
Yes, time has lost all meaning. The first time I said to myself, is it Tuesday? I genuinely don't know. That's when I knew I was retired. That's when I had arrived.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really
awesome.
It is. Actually. So you've never been to Gen Con, right? You've never been to Gen Con?
No, not at all.
But you lived in the States for a while. I know you lived... You just weren't into board games back then, or?
Yeah,
what?
I didn't discover board games till I hit Europe. When I was in the States 10 years ago, I thought Magic the Gathering and Warhammer defined what modern analog gaming was. I hadn't heard of Settlers of Catan. I hadn't heard of any of it. It's total undiscovered country to me.
Interesting. Well, if you're tuned in, you know that we are going to be going over Gen Con. Joel and I did this between the two of us, and we talked about every single game that was either being released or being demoed at Gen Con in some way, shape, or form. Some of that we went into great lengths and discussed them. Some of them we kind of glossed over. I think that's kind of like the way we're going to be doing it again today, right? Joel, yes?
That's exactly right. We're going to try to get it done in about 3 hours, give or take.
Because you got to fix the toilet.
I got plumbing to do. So
Joel broke his toilet.
I did.
Joel broke his toilet, so he needs to fix that apparently. So you're not doing flooding.
One toilet at Casa Eddie. Is that the problem, basically?
Yeah.
You must have a backup. It's fine. Just let it go.
We do.
You only have one toilet at your house?
No, we got a couple.
No, well then
we got to maintain. I don't think people tuned in. We're losing viewers as we speak.
Well, I think we're going to be shutting down the entries here in about like 60 seconds. So if you're still working on making your guesses, you better enter those into the contest here before we start talking about the very first game. So what do we got? About 90 seconds left for them?
Yep. Yeah. My wife Jen is standing at the ready to take the final contest entries and work its magic. For the record, I haven't looked at any of this stuff. I don't know what Joel's top 10 is or Lance's. None of us know anybody's. Only my wife, the accounting firm of Jennifer Ham, is responsible for this contest being on the up and up. So she'll be closing it down pretty soon, although she's getting a drink of water at the moment.
Okay, well then we got a little bit of time. Does anybody have anything non-Gen Con related they want to talk about? Anybody play anything recently that was fun?
No, I don't play any fun games. Oh, I've been playing a lot of prototypes. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them though. So somebody else go.
Does that mean you're going to be doing some Kickstarter videos there, Joel?
You should see a couple trickle out over the next couple weeks.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Why the change of heart?
No. These are long purchased Kickstarter videos.
From
my own Kickstarter. Yeah, from Kickstarter back in October. It just it's been so long for them to occur. I will say that I do enjoy all three of them. So stay tuned.
Spoiler
There you
alert.
go. Yeah.
So here's my weird question. So like just like any other Kickstarter program, then you took a long time to actually get your rewards out. You went long than you planned.
No, I mean, I just no, I delivered once they contacted me to do the videos. That was a couple weeks ago, I think, from just for a few different folks. But yeah, no, it's quick. I said in my Kickstarter I give you 6 weeks, and then you know, I should have a video out. But this is within 6 weeks, so it's just they weren't ready to show the game. You know, they weren't ready to have their Kickstarter go live.
I understand.
Trying
All
to
right.
hold my feet to the fire over nothing.
FYI,
All right, well-
Jen has just shut the contest down.
Shut her down.
Oh,
It is over. If you had a week, if you missed it, I'm very sorry. And now she will start going and crunching the numbers. And I guess we'll have the actual final announcement of who won at the end of the show, right? That's what we all talked about?
Sounds good. Yeah, awesome.
good deal.
Yeah,
All right, well-
so it looks like we had 258 entries. That's pretty cool. And
That
I
is
will
cool.
say, I can tell some of you who watch my channel and some of you don't. I'll just leave it at that. I'm like, oh, these are the people that watch Richard and Lance, and then like these are the people that watch me. Come on.
Well, I would say the same thing about. I saw some of the picks that I had, and I was just like, okay, sure, I'm excited about that one.
I did see somebody gave you Pathfinder, Lance. As the
I
one
was like,
you-
I saw that, and I was like, well, you lose. So you know,
That's like negative. You get docked points.
yeah, I get to go to his house and take a game from his collection, actually. Or I shouldn't.
Yeah, that was
I
in the
shouldn't be
small
gender
print.
specific. Yes. All right. So Gen Con, they have a bunch of. No, do you think that this list was longer or shorter than the last year? I don't even remember seeing the one last year. I mean, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember how many were on there. It seemed like it was shorter to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I have no idea. But if you're wondering what we're talking about, there is a list on Board Game Geek about the Gen Con 2014 preview. Eric Martin puts that together. He is the board game news guru that is part of the Board Game Geek world. He lists the games off by publisher. Not by like game name. So if you're wondering how this works, you can definitely just go to the same geek list on there and check it out, and then you can follow along if you so desire. But that's how that's going to work. So.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I actually loaded a feed for the geek list. So periodically we'll be tabbing between one of us talking and the list itself.
Excellent. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off, and it is the publisher known as 1A Games, not to be confused with A1 Steak Sauce, but 1A Games. And I've never even heard of this publisher. Well, actually, I have, but like because I know they were doing the they had purchased the rights to Tide of Iron, and I think they did a Kickstarter for it. Back in the day, I may be wrong, but I know I've seen the Tide of Iron game on the shelf of my game store, and I noticed that it was by this new publisher. But it looks like they have some game called Crosshairs Testing Ground, and it is a game that's only be available for demo, and it looks like this is just I don't know anything about this. So if anybody knows anything about it, you can definitely chime in.
My understanding is it is literally a roll and move game with a little bit of extra. It's basically a straight up race. And actually, I did watch the video of it that was associated with the Kickstarter because I was really interested because the art is gorgeous. Because it's actually based on this comic that this artist created. He created this world for books or comics or something. Loved it so much he decided to make his own game based in his own world. And I think. Its Kickstarter got a lot of attention because the art is just so amazingly gorgeous. But the game itself, I think, is a very, very simple, straightforward, family-friendly gateway, roll and move, play some attack cards on your opponents, and try to get to the finish line first. I believe. And I hate to start right out of the gate misinformation.
If that's the case, I mean, and once again, misinformation, if that's the case, then it is a playtime of 60 minutes, and that seems like it's a way too long of a game for a family game. Because, like, you actually had me interested there for a second, Richard, because I was like, well, that'd be a game I could play with my daughter, and that might be actually fun, but I don't know. It's definitely something I'll check out. and take a look at, but I really don't have any strong feelings either way about the game. Joel?
No, I have no idea about the game.
All right.
Nothing. I got nothing. Sorry.
But I do see that they are also going to have the new Tide of Iron game, the old FFG game that the rights to were purchased by them, and they are going to have it for demo and for purchase. Now, I played the original Tide of Iron, and I actually enjoyed it. I didn't get into any of the expansions or anything on it. I still have my old coffin box of it on my game shelf. I don't think I'll ever. I haven't busted it out probably in a good 2-3 years. So I don't see myself getting back into Tide of Iron. But I don't know, if you're a fan of it, I guess pretty cool that they're actually kind of redoing it and getting it back out there.
Yeah, I'm excited to take a look at this one. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Over the years, I never had a chance to play it, but me, I'm a fan of Memoir and different war games and stuff. So if Marco was, with us, rest in peace, he'd probably have some things to say about this game.
He died?
I'm not Marco, okay?
No.
Don't put that on me.
Well, I don't think Marco would. I don't want to speak for Marco, but I don't think he'd be excited about it just because it has, I don't know, he likes his war games to be kind of abstract, with the little counters and what have you. Maybe this would be.
He's changed his ways, my friend. He's done reviews of Bushido and Malifaux and some other miniatures games. He's gotten more into the plasticky toyness of it. So.
Oh. Well, it's too bad he died, because that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something I'm interested in. It's not a new game, but I think it's a repackaging.
All right, good deal. All right, well that's it for that publisher, and they got a booth, so that's something to check out. We move on to 8th Summit Games, a company that I actually really like the things that they've made and put out. One of my favorite games that came out a while back was Agents of Smersh, which was the Tales of Arabian Nights storytelling type game that was actually cooperative and was had a really good theme of James Bond and kind of that cool spy theme that I enjoy. Looks like they have the expansion that I think they did a Kickstarter for it to get it published, and I think they're gonna have that to purchase at the Gen Con. Did you play Agents of Smersh, either of you guys?
Not me, no.
Jen and me, we're fans. We really liked Smersh a lot, and liked it a lot more than Tales of the Arabian Nights, which I'm sure is blasphemy in some circles. But there was actual game there. Tales of the Arabian Nights is a lovely and evocative experience, but Smersh actually puts some game in the box too. So we definitely found ourselves enjoying that one a lot more. And
Go ahead.
Hold on. I am not used to. I'll have to try to stifle my urge to talk over everybody, but I'll keep talking. You said I could. I'm excited about this too. The whole setting in Australia, a whole bunch of new characters. But I have to admit, I've still barely made a dent in the book that came with the original Smersh. So I'd love to pick this up. I just don't know if I can do it in good conscience right now, just because I've still got so much starter Smersh to get through.
Starter Smersh. Well, I actually, Jason Maxwell was cool enough to send me a copy of Swagman's Hope, and it is excellent. Everything that it adds to it, it doesn't do what I hate about expansions, where it muddies the water and makes the game itself more. It is all those rules you really knew well. Here's a bunch of new ones that change everything, so relearn the game. It doesn't do that, and it's got a bunch of cool stuff that it added to it. So if I didn't own it, I would be picking it up. I'd make a beeline to it and grab a copy. So if you like the Smersh, you should definitely check out the expansion. So you never played it, really, Joel? What's wrong with you?
No, Eldritch Horror is kind of the outer echelon of story thematic games that I can get played.
But this one's got a adventure thing.
Yeah. I don't know. My group's more Euro-driven, but we do have some folks that like to play other things.
Honestly, If,
outside
if
of
you're
that.
more hero-driven like me, I would say Smersh is the better experience over Eldritch Horror, which is definitely,
Yeah.
to my mind, a bit closer to the Ameritrash side. Smersh, I think, does
Right.
more interesting gameplay mechanisms.
Yeah.
With the push of luck, the different sided dice you have to draw and all that stuff.
Yeah. No, my group as a whole, I think, is more Euro style, but there's myself and there's a couple other guys that don't really carry their way. We like everything, so we're weird. There's me and a couple other people that are like, oh, this is trash. Let's play it. This is abstract strategy. Let's play this. We don't really. We have fun just playing it, whatever. So.
Well, I could talk
You're
about
right,
Smersh at great length, but I will stop there.
Yeah.
And let you throw it back to Lanes.
Oh no, it's no big deal. Another game they say they'll have. I know this one went through Kickstarter as well. Run, Fight, or Die. Another zombie game, designed by Richard Lanius, who I pretty much enjoy most of the stuff that guy makes.
Yep.
And this looks like it's a relatively quick zombie. I know, didn't you play it or demo it at Gen Con last year?
I did. It was cool. I'm kind of honestly lukewarmly interested. Richard has a couple other games that I'm more interested in. One of them being Alien Uprising. No spoiler, but this one looks cool. It's like 40 minutes and very simple, almost like what's that? Can't Stop-ish kind of thing. Where it's very abstract in a lot of ways. You have these different zones where the zombies are moving in closer to your base, and depending on which zone they're in proximity to your base, you can do different things to them.
A big part of it is Yahtzee dice stuff, right? I mean, you are rolling, setting stuff aside, final roll. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's kind of, but there's a little bit of element of trying to, like, how far do you let them get close? Because I think, as far as I remember, it's easier to kill them as they're closer. But then, they start to pile up against your wall. So it's kind of like as if you're standing on a wall, there's a bunch of zombies coming, and you're just trying to repel them. Very simple. Anyway, it looked neat. It's not something I'm super excited about, but it looks like a cool game, and I think people would like it as a filler. It's one thing, there's not a lot of good Ameritrash filler, for example. It's usually a good filler is always like, very kind of purely streamlined economic stuff on games. There's not a lot of good, super thematic and crazy half-hour games.
If you say so.
I don't know. I could be wrong. That's what it feels like that.
Well, I think it's one of the things I'm not going to race to go grab it, but I will definitely, if they still have some, like, after things die down on that first Thursday, I'll definitely go and snag a copy probably, and just because I think it'd be a fun game for, like, the game nights at my local game store when we have that, just because it's so loud and annoying. It's tough to play like a really in-depth Euro that takes some thought because of the noise level and the number of people in there. So something like this, just kind of interactive, joking around, having fun with your friends kind of thing. I think it's something I'll pick up for sure. And this looks like they're going to have the little expansions for it as well. So I wonder about the price point a little bit. I mean, as far as like what you get for $50.
Yeah.
But
ouch.
No,
well,
so
there's a lot of minis, but minis are minis.
A lot of zombie minis, a lot of custom dice, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's MSRP.
So then a game that will only be for demo and that you won't be able to purchase it is the game Till Dawn that they successfully kickstarted as well. This looks like it's another, once again, Richard Lanius. I guess like Jason Maxwell and Richard Lanius are like really good friends. I mean that's why they kind of have a lot going on. They both live in the same area and whatever. I was talking to Jason one night and he said, if I came up with an idea for a game, I could call Richard and say, I need a game put together, like with mechanics and whatever. I need it all put together in a couple of weeks. What can you do for me? And Richard said, I'll have it for you in 10 days. So I mean, it's just like, I guess he's just got tons of little ideas and things that he writes down. He can just kind of put them together quickly. But anyway, not to name drop or anything like I'm so cool or anything like that. But
you are so cool. It is true.
Well, thank you. I do like hearing it every once in a while. So, but okay, this is a game that I actually got sent to do a Kickstarter preview for, and it just fell completely flat for my group. I couldn't get anybody interested in it. I don't know. I think they were all vampired out.
Oh,
Till
right.
Dawn.
Right.
And I actually, and we tried playing it. It looks. I think we thought it was going to be kind of like a more in-depth werewolf or something. And I maybe my group was just wrong for it. I actually could see how the game was, pretty. I mean, I could see why people would like it. I don't know, but for us, it just didn't seem to work. And ultimately, I ended up sending the game to another reviewer to have them do the review, and they ended up really liking it. So that was one of those things where just things didn't work out as far as that goes. But I didn't want to sink somebody's Kickstarter just because for whatever reason it didn't click with us. But looks like that's only going to be available for demo. So maybe they've cleaned up the rules a little bit. Maybe I'll check a demo for it and see how it works, and maybe I'll enjoy it more there. I don't know if any of you have any ideas or anything about it that you want to say.
No,
so.
0 for me. Sorry.
It requires 4 players. I will never play it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to tell. Not to diverge from what we're talking about here, but are you telling me that you?
Are you giving me some life lessons now?
No. I'm just saying, are you serious? There's nobody else. I mean, I know I've heard about you. I know there's people. There's got to be somebody else that plays a game in Malta, right? There's got to be at least 2.
In Malta, there is a small, growing gaming community. There's actually some Facebook groups that are devoted to it, but that's on Malta. Jen and I, we live on Gozo, which is this tiny little island full of farmers and tourist hotels. And we live on the far, far north, far away edge, and I genuinely would not be surprised if Jen and I were the only board gamers on this entire island. So for us to actually play anybody other than just me and Jen, we have to drive to the other side of Gozo and then take the ferry over to the mainland and literally drive from one side of the country to the other. So it is coincidentally, we did today. We did go over to the mainland because there was a show Jen wanted to go see, and I got together with some folks and we played a game of Intel. And we had a great time, great 4-player game. But it is very, very rare. Maybe once every couple of months, kind of an occasion that we get over to the mainland and we sit down. And I always have a long list of here's games I want to experience with more than 2 players. Please, can we play this and this and this? And so, but it is pretty rare.
And we import some English people sometimes.
Yeah, and actually, occasionally we have people come and visit us, from England and whatnot. So occasionally we get some people coming out to our little neck of the woods. But for the most part, 95% of my gaming is just me and my wife, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world for it. And she's right there, by the way. I would have said that anyway, even if she was asleep.
Very nice. All right, so that's it for 8th Summit Games, and we'll move on to Nine Kingdoms Publications. They had a game, a zombie survival game called Apocalypse. I've played it. It's decent. It's as far as zombie games go, and it wasn't. It was something that. It wasn't I didn't hate it, I guess. I don't know. It's just there's so many zombie games. It's tough to tell them apart sometimes. And that's kind of a cop-out, I realize. But regardless, looks like they have a game that they're going to be demoing, and they're going to have copies of Apocalypse. How do you think you pronounce that? Apocalypse? Apocalypse. Well, I know, but this is Z.
I think you're overthinking it.
Okay, well, fine. But I want to pronounce the Z. Apocalypse. There.
Apocalypse. Ooh, actually, you're right. It's tough to get the Z. You want the yeah.
So, but anyway, there's a game called Titans of Empyrean. I know nothing about this game, so I turn it over to either of you.
Zilch for me. Don't worry, folks. It'll get better. There are actually games that we've heard.
There are games we know about. It's true.
We can skip it. Like I said, we discussed this before. We can just say next. We don't know nothing.
Next.
Okay,
all right.
Next. Let's do next.
Academy Games. And
this has got to be a game. Yeah.
Okay. Conflict of Heroes: Awakening the Bear. Yeah, sounds like it's war games. So moving on.
Oh, what?
We will.
What?
I'll make a quick thing. I know neither of you are interested in this, but Conflict of Heroes, good system. nice, easy tactical system, good for intro, war gamers and stuff. And this is a solo expansion. People have been waiting for a while for this that are fans of the system. And it's designed as to have an AI and things to be able to play solo. So that's pretty cool. There you go. I'm done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I fell asleep there for a moment. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Thief, France, 1429. This is a game I actually backed on Kickstarter that I was kind of excited to give a try to. I was also hoping that, like they did last year with Freedom Underground, that they'd have it available to pick up at Gen Con, but it does not sound like they will, which makes me sad. So I won't be able to pick this one up. But it's, I don't know, everything about it reminded me, everything I read, it sounds like a lot of negotiation, a lot of backstabbing and whatever, a game that just speaks to me and my gaming group. We love games like this. And so highly anticipated. I'm going to check out what it looks like. It looks like they're going to have at least copies for demo, or at least you can take a look and see what I put my money down for. I don't know. I forget when it was last year, but I'm excited to see what Thief looks like.
Yeah, me too. I didn't back it myself, but definitely, kind of has that Game of Thronesy type of thing, or maybe Here I Stand, but of course not as crazy and long and complicated. It's actually a reprint, though, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an
a
older
redoing,
French
maybe.
game or something. Yeah, and that was from like 20 years ago or something, but
yeah,
which I didn't hear about. I had no idea what it was, but it is what it is. So.
And it plays 3 to 6, so Richard doesn't care about it.
Yeah, he could not care less.
No,
he does right now.
Yeah. Yes. Are we? Okay.
All right.
The fact that I focus primarily on two-player games, to me, that makes my life so easy because I can literally ignore half of the games that come out every year. I mean, there are so many games; it's so hard to keep up with them. For me, I'm actually really happy to have that kind of a filter to say, oh, 3-player minimum, fine, next, which will be true for a lot of stuff on this list as well.
Yeah.
But I'm still here for the duration.
I should have the opposite filter. If it plays 2 at all, I'm not going to play. And it has to be a minimum of 3.
I refuse on principle. How dare they?
No, because I really enjoy 2-player games as well. So next
all
game.
Right. Oh, okay, this is from Action Phase Games. This is Heroes Wanted, and I will gloat a bit right now because I can look right over to my right and I can see a copy of it sitting right over there with all the cool expansions because Travis Chance was cool enough to send me one of the early promo copies or whatever that came off the line, if you will, and it's something I have to review. I've played it. It's a ton of fun. I love it. So
you did do a video for the prototype, right? For the Kickstarter campaign?
No, not for Heroes Wanted. I did not do that one. I did one for the Silver Age, the Sentinels of the Multiverse. I did for their tactical one, which sadly won't be available, I don't think. But
it might. There might be some very small few copies there, I think.
Well, he owes me a copy, so I'll be tackling him. But we can talk about that when we get to that. But yes, if you're looking for, finally, it's Joel and I have talked about this. We're both comic book nerds. I don't know if you're a comic book nerd or not, Richard, but
yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Like for the longest time, there was never any really good board games or card games that actually did superheroes and comics well, and now finally it looks like we're getting some, and I'm really happy about it. Yes, if you will, So somebody realized that comic book movies made money, and then somebody realized comic book board games make money. So I'm pretty excited about it. What I like about this, and this is an aside, that it's a story that only maybe 5 people listening might even care about, but I'm going to say it anyway. what the premise of the game is that you're this budding superhero, and you want to show off and show how tough you are, and then if you're like the best of the new superheroes, then you can become part of the champions of the Zeta City, I think it's, yeah, right there. And so you become part of like the supergroup, like you get to join the Avengers, or you get to join the Justice League or whatever. And what that reminds me of is way back in the day, an excellent, wonderful, awesome role-playing game called Villains and Vigilantes. Like the old box set came with the starting adventure, which was that each of you made a superhero, and then you went to the headquarters of the Avengers, or whatever they were called at the time, and to apply for membership. And when you got there, what had happened actually was the villains had shown up and taken out the good guys and had locked them up or whatever, and then you ended up having to fight the villains and take them out, and then if you were able to do it, then you get to join the group, obviously. And so it kind of reminds me a little bit of that, and so I was kind of excited to hear about it.
Well, now you do know
totally.
that, I mean, the game is really probably a lot closer to Mystery Men than, you know, like serious heavy superhero stuff, because it is full of wacky heroes, wacky villains, and very wacky situations that they do battle in.
Well, yeah, it's more of a Silver Age of comics than, or even Golden Age, really, than today's era, you know, of the gritty, realistic superhero that is popular now or whatever. So. But I love all comics, so I'm excited.
It's a fantastic game. I actually did a video for it a few months ago, and Jen and I, we enjoyed it a lot. You know, we're very Eurocentric players, and it has a lot of humor and and a lot of excitement, a lot of action. The game can be very, very challenging, but it also gives you a lot to think about, a lot for your gray matter to chew on. When you get put into these situations, and the 4 different scenarios that come with the game are very, very different. They give you very different situations to deal with. Great game. Jen and I mean, I am jealous of you now for actually having it. It's definitely something I will not leave Gen Con without myself, because we just absolutely adored it.
Cool. Joel, any parting thoughts?
I think I'm the only person on Earth that didn't care for this game. Next game, all right. Next game.
You suck. Anyway,
We'll have to come back to this. I'm very curious about that, but it can wait for another day.
Yeah.
Ad Magic Incorporated. They have a booth. Never even heard of the company. They have a game called Gothic Doctor, which I've never heard anything about, and so I am just going to. Unless somebody wants to say something, I'm going to say next. We can move on.
Next.
All right. Okay, now we get to one of the...
Well, I know about it, but...
Do you want to say something about it, Richard?
It's basically, you are a Gothic Victorian-era doctor. You run a night emergency room, and the Wolfman and vampires and Frankenstein's monster, those are your patients. And you are basically trying to collect the right ingredients and reagents and techniques to be able to service all these patients and score the most points. And it looks really cute, and has a nice sense of humor again, but it also, I think, has a lot of backstabby stuff, which is why, for me and Jen, it's not really a goer.
You actually have piqued my interest a little bit, because my daughter loves...
It follows that same kind of overall structure that, say, like a Lords of Waterdeep does, in that Lords of Waterdeep has those contracts.
Now I hate it.
Oh, well. Well, it's that same kind of structure. There's the contracts, which are represented by the patients, and you've got to, everybody's competing to grab those patients first by collecting the right collection of stuff, and along the way, stealing stuff from each other and that sort of thing. But it's not a worker placement game at all. It's definitely hand management type thing.
Well, I'll check it out just because my daughter loves monster movies and ghosts and goblins and things like that. So I'll check it out and see what we see. But anyway, moving on, a big hitter, Aldrock Entertainment Group. You may have heard of them. They come out with a game or two every year or so. And they have the big re-release of Doomtown Reloaded. Now I know, Joel, you and I have copies of it that were sent to us for review. You did a review. I'm still trying to get it into my review queue. This is one of the games I want to get the review out here before I leave for Gen Con. I played the old Doomtown. I enjoyed it a lot. Did you play the old one?
Nope. Never played, never heard of it. And I saw a lot of people, when this was being teased and poked and prodded on Twitter and other places, were really excited about it. So I asked a couple of folks about it, and they kind of told me a little bit about it, so I was excited. And, from what they were telling me, and then I had a chance to play it, of course, and it's really cool. It's really different. It's not like any other trading card game. I mean, as Netrunner is not really that much like Magic, I mean, this is even further away from Magic. It's got a lot more area control. There's actually like little movement on the board and or space on the table. There's zones you move your cowboys in and out of, and it's got really wacky, like Old West combined with magic and weird steampunk technology and all this cool stuff, and locations that you can control, crazy ranches with weird technology on the ranch to generate money for you and stuff. Really cool. I mean, interesting. I think it'll be one to go and grab and quickly pick up on Thursday. I think it'll probably sell out. That would be my hunch, but definitely interesting and different. I don't know that everybody's going to like this one. It's very complicated, probably more equally complicated to Netrunner in terms of the rule structure. I didn't have any particular trouble with the rules myself. I mean, I had to play a game, to get it, but that's not always, that's like that for me with every game.
Yeah.
But I have talked to some other folks that had difficulty with it, and I can see that for sure, definitely. And so it's going to be an acquired taste, and I think it's going to be a slow burn taste, but I think it's worth the investment and the different kind of decks you can build and stuff. I would recommend it. I think it's something you need to try. I think I said that in my review. You should at least try it. I don't know that everybody should go out and buy it, but definitely try it.
Are you gonna try to get the super cool collector's wooden box edition?
Yeah, I think so. The price is a little higher than I expected it to be, but it is.
Yeah, I know. You and I thought like $80, $100 or something like that, but they want 120 for it, right?
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and theoretically, if you ever decide to sell it, you can make that back since it's a collector's item.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. All right, cool. Do you care, Richard?
I'm hanging in, but no. This one is not on my list. This is not on my radar at all.
Okay, so have we hit anything from anybody's list yet? Does anybody? They're
on anybody's top 10? Not me.
Yeah,
not yet.
Oh, weird. I thought maybe Doomtown would be on somebody's, but I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, I already
a lot of
reviewed
people thought it would be on yours, Lance. Actually, a lot of the respondents, that was like one of the.
It's something I'm excited about, but it's like it's an honorable mention. It's like it almost squeaked in. If I didn't, I guess maybe if I didn't already have a copy of it, that was sent to me, it would probably be on my list just because I wanted to go and make sure I got it, But it just wasn't there. So it is what it is, I guess. So for some reason they have Istanbul listed here, maybe just because they're going to be demoing it a lot. Istanbul is a fantastic game. It's one of my favorite games that's come out this last year. So I think we've all reviewed it, haven't we?
Not me. I have it. I just haven't reviewed it yet. I just got it.
Do it now.
Okay.
30-second review. Go.
All right. I haven't even played it. I just got it the other day. So
make it up.
What the hell is wrong with
it? It's great.
I
think it should get the Kenner Spiel des Jahres.
Oh. Topical.
Yes. That was horrible. Anyway, if you don't know what Istanbul or anything about the game, I don't know, crawl out of your hole and figure it out. It's
go watch a video on it next game.
Yes, tons of stuff out there. Tons of things to look at for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Lost Legacy, the Starship. I just did a review of this just in the last day or two. I don't know. It's some weird love letter-esque game. I know you did a review of like the Japanese version like a year ago or so, right, Joel?
That's right. It's way better than Love Letter. I think it won't have as
It's
much
from the
of
same designer
yeah.
as Love Letter.
It's sort of like a
effectively
sequel. Yeah, it's like a sequel. The difference with these guys is they're releasing each of the decks separately. The original game came with 2 decks. They have a 3rd deck that was designed by him, and they're going to release them separately. It's not really a big deal. You can't mix them all together. I think you can. There's some weird variant that you can, but you can take cards out of one and out of the other and mix them together. It's better than Love Letter. I don't think it'll have the same, explosion over the Earth that Love Letter did because it's more complicated. But I like it better because you can change it. You can change it up. Like the metagame changes every time you play, based on how you mix it up and stuff. I would totally pick this one up. Probably. I don't know. I really enjoy it. I would pick this one up first at AEG's booth, even though I'm sure they'll be playing.
The thing is though, like without the other ones, I didn't really like this as much as Love Letter. I don't know.
Right. I can see that.
So
if you just have the one deck, it's not going to be as good because the point for us is mixing them, and changing it up and like, okay, now this does this effect. So how does that change how I'm reading the other players and all that?
cool. Okay, moving on. Pagoda. That is an excellent 2-player game. A very rare 2-player game that I've actually played. I need to do a review of it. Of course, I haven't because I'm slow at getting my reviews done. Richard, you've played it, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I am excited to. It is on my list, or not on my top 10 list, but it was definitely one I thought about because I think it'd be something Jen and I enjoy a lot. I mean, it seems a bit more abstract than we normally go for, but I figure there's enough theme there. You still feel like you're building something real, right?
Yep.
No.
And that's what we're looking for.
You can skip the game.
You don't like it, Joel?
I didn't enjoy it at all.
Really?
Not at all.
All right, you two fight.
No, next game.
Well, with Joel and I have arguments about Joel and I with games devolve into like him explaining something very. It's like, well, I didn't like it because this, and this, and I said, oh, okay, so you're a fucking communist then. Is that what you're trying to tell me? and then we're done.
I think we need to put a 5-second delay on this, Joel.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I feel like I'm in the Gen Con room already, and we're dropping F-bombs and like usually it's like what, Friday at 7 or 8 when we've run into some annoying people or something, and then you have to complain about something to me, and then I do the same thing back.
I never run into anybody annoying at Gen Con. Never.
Oh, really? Oh, sweet.
Well,
I gotta hang out with you more often.
One love it, one hate it, one excited for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
There you go.
So, okay, say bye to the villains. This is weird because these are all games that have already been released. I mean, I've seen these on the shelves. I've seen them online. I don't know anything about Say Bye to the Villains. I don't know.
Do not enjoy that one either. Sorry.
All right.
I don't recommend it. It's very dry, mathy co-op. It's one of the games when I played. I said this once. Oh, Seiji Kanai is a human. Not every game he makes is amazing. So this is one of those. A lot of people like it though. So honestly, I've seen other people really, really enjoy it. So maybe something to take a look at. But really did not care for this at all.
All right, up next is Seventh Hero. This is a game I'm mildly interested in, but I probably won't bother picking it up at Gen Con. It's one of those games I'd throw in on an order that I needed a $15 game to get me to $100 for free shipping. The little bit of what I've heard about it is it's interesting at the very least. I don't know.
It looks interesting. It's a quick kind of love lettery micro game where you kind of passing the buck and trying to bluff about what cards to collect and stuff. It looks cool. I can't say I'm super excited about that because I've got a million games like that, but I like the artwork and the mechanic looks interesting. So.
Yeah.
3-player. Move on.
All right, Smash Up, Monster Smash. I am so over Smash Up at this point. I'm moving on unless somebody wants to say something.
Well, I particularly don't, Richard. Nope.
Okay.
Nothing.
And then Smash Up the Geeky box. It looks like now you just get a big box that you can buy to hold all your Smash Up stuff, which I guess technically is cool if you have all that. So then you don't have to, try to figure out a way to carry it all around. Looks like you get some little bonus cards with Will Wheaton and his cohorts or whatever. Which, if that's important to you, then cool, good for you. But I don't know.
Yep.
I'm over Smash Up. I'm over Smash Up at this point in my life. So, okay, and then Trains Rising Sun. I'll let you two talk about Trains Rising Sun because I'm not. I wasn't all that excited about Trains. I don't know.
Whee!
There you go. You like Trains, Richard?
Oh yeah, Trains is awesome. I mean, Trains is Dominion. Dominion is awesome. Trains is awesome. The transitive property in action, right there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited for this. It's not on my top 10. It was one of
really?
Yeah, one of those I thought about. I know you kind of teased me.
I would have guessed it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you just went insane over Trains last year.
I really like Trains.
You were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with Trains.
Yeah, this is probably like a number 11 or 12, I think, on the list. I can spoil it now. There's no expansions on my top 10. Because as much as I like expansions and I love extra maps and like Age of Industry and Steam, I love to get maps for that stuff, and Trains is going to be one of those like that. I love that about games, Power Grid, all that stuff. But I'm really more interested in new actual games. But this is instantly, I'm totally going to check this out.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. So it's almost in my top 10. So there you go.
There you go. All right. All right. Moving on to Ape Games. Ape Games, they have, they've come out with a lot of stuff lately, actually. Nothing really that hit my radar recently. Arcadia from Ape Games. I know nothing about this, so I'm moving on unless somebody says something quickly.
All I can say is, boy, if I were Ape Games, I would have tried to ensure that Eric Martin put something a little bit more in the description and maybe put a picture up as well. Because Ape is not really pushing the Arcadia for some reason.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
What can we say if they don't give us anything to talk about?
Yeah, it's probably like a year away. They're just going to demo it,
Fair enough.
All right, Island Siege, that's a game I did a Kickstarter video for a long time ago. If you're going to buy it, it's definitely a game that I think, you might like it because it's 2-player, but I find the game is a lot more fun when it is 3 or 4-player, but then you got to buy more than one copy of the game. Then again, the game's been out forever, so I don't know why it's even listed here, but they must be doing demos of it or something. I don't know. But it's a fun little game of blowing up each other's islands, which is kind of neat, actually. So I enjoyed it. I have a copy. So I'm waiting for somebody to say something,
Nope.
And they aren't. Okay, moving on. We have the board game RAR, or card game, I should say.
I think you mispronounced that.
How is it?
No, I'm just teasing.
Oh,
I don't know what this is. Is it like a kid's game or something?
Game? Hold on 1 second, boys. You talk.
Bye.
Yep.
What will we do?
I don't know. He's our MC.
We've been going 50 minutes and we haven't made it off the first page.
I know. We need to pick up the pace.
That bodes well for your toilets.
No.
Yes, your toilet.
We need to pick up the pace, though. I'm going to skip. We should skip this.
All right, skipping it. Rolling Freight, Great Britain, India. It's a map if you want to pick it up for Rolling Freight, which is a pretty good game. I think it, good game.
Rolling Freight is a very nice game, and I'm sure these will be excellent maps.
Okay. All right. And then we get to Spirits of the Rice Paddy. This is weird because it's a Philip DuBarry game, and I like to think I keep my. He's one of my designers. I actually enjoy a lot of his stuff ever since Revolution way back in the day, but I have no idea this game even existed, and it looks like it's going to be demoed.
Just shy, maybe my number 11 or my number 12. I'm very stoked for this one, I have to admit. Well, like I said, Philip DuBarry, I think he's a really solid designer. Every game of his I played, I thought they were very mechanically sound, really good, solid designs, and they always do something clever and interesting. I mean, Kingdom of Solomon, all of them. I forget which Tempest game is his, but I do remember saying, "Oh yeah, this is a Phil DuBarry Tempest game." which was his Dominion, not Dominion,
Courtier.
Domain. He did Courtier, yeah, which was the area control on people game, right? Yeah. So I think he always makes really good games, but the one problem I've always had with every one of his titles I've played so far is they don't work, in my opinion, all that well as a two-player game. And Jen and I, we wanted to like them more, but they never really seemed like they took two-player that much into account. But just recently, I played another one of his games, which is further down on the list, Fidelitas, and that game works fantastically two-player. And so I'm hoping that signals a sea change in the Phil Duberry oeuvre, or however you say, lineup. And because this looks like a heavier game, the art looks gorgeous just from the box cover. It's raising farms in China and really trying to leverage your livestock. I know Jen will absolutely love the fact that you can raise ducks specifically to take care of the pests that would eat all your crops, because Jen calls me Duck, and I think I'm really stoked for it. I'm hoping it's a new chapter in Phil Duberry with becoming the two-player master that I know he can be.
Sounds good.
Fair enough.
Check it out.
All right, moving on, we have the publisher Arcane Tinman, yes. The game called The Spoils. And it's supposedly a game first released in 2006. I've never heard anything about this, so...
I just reviewed it. It's really good. It's like it's a trading card game, though. It had quite the hype back when it first came out, and kind of just went away, and now they're kind of re-pushing it out. And I would recommend it if you like TCGs and that style of game. Very interesting free-form play where you don't really have phases. You can kind of do whatever you want on your turn, which is really cool. So like you can attack and then do a thing, and then attack again and do another thing. Pretty cool. So it's got some risque art, like the resources of the land or the mana is scantily clad women. So I'm kind of I don't want to devolve into RSP, but
Go on.
But it's kind of a strange thing. Yeah, but it's weird. So it's not something you should play with your kids.
And in this era of living card games, it is still a collectible card game.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is, yeah. So there you go. There's the box art there for folks looking at YouTube. So there, hey, we got page 1 is done. Oh my gosh.
8 more to go.
All right. I'm putting the brick on the gas pedal, and we're moving on here.
All right. There are toilets hanging in the balance.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. We have the publisher Arcane Wonders coming up, and this is a game that Arcane Wonders. This is the first game that this is like number 10.5 for me. Almost hit it, and it just barely got edged out. Sheriff of Nottingham.
Number 9. This is number 9 on your list. Top 10. Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, then I think you should tell us why.
I think it looks really fun. It looks kind of like the same vein, social vein as Resistance and that kind of stuff, and just kind of trying to lie and bluff your way, to the sheriff, and everybody has a chance of being the sheriff and all that kind of stuff. And I like how it's timed as well. That's one thing I really like about One Night Ultimate Werewolf is the timer. So I think it's going to be a fun game. Our group really has enjoyed the social game. That's kind of a new thing over the last year. We've all kind of really started to embrace. So I think this will be a good time for our group.
Well, I remember this is a remake or whatever of Der Harte Granza or whatever, a game that was never really published over here that I played actually, and it's quite good. And I think they've changed it up a little bit or whatever. But so I'm really excited to own a copy. Plus, it's super cheap, $35. I mean, whatever. Yep. Thanks. I'm gonna pick it up, but it nearly made my list. It was like it just got edged out like towards the end there as I was making my list out. So.
All right.
So we finally found one. Yay! All right. So. And I'm sure Arcane Wonders will have lots of Mage Wars stuff and whatever. So. All right, publisher Ares Games, and of course we have the Battle of Five Armies.
Also on my list, number 4.
Really?
I knew this would be on your list. I knew it. Yeah. I knew it.
Yeah, I love. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead there, my friend.
I was gonna say I love War of the Ring. There, and
Yeah,
so I'm looking
you
forward to
told
this.
me you never play it though. Why would you want another two-player game you're not going to play?
Well, I've got a buddy of mine that taught me how to play War of the Ring, and I think he'll be excited to play Battle of Five Armies. And I had a good time with War of the Ring, so you know, I like two-player games. You know, I like big, massive two-player games as well, like Twilight Struggle and stuff like that. So,
Are they releasing this one though? Is it going to be for sale or is this just demoing?
no, I think it's going to be for sale. I think it may be out actually a little before Gen Con. I'm not 100% sure, and hopefully nobody slits my throat for saying that, but I think it may be out prior. We'll see.
Well, Eric has it listed as definitely being at the show.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably 100%, 99%. You know, that it'll be there. But
All right, cool.
yeah.
All right, then we have a small little card game called Dino Race. I don't know. It looks.
No idea.
Well, the thing is when I looked at like the little demo, it reminded me a little bit of another kids game that my daughter likes. I can't think of the name of it right now. So this is something that I think I might end up just picking up, so I can put it on my daughter's gaming shelf in her room. So it's something she and I can play. So that's cool.
About right.
Yeah, exactly. And then Wings of Glory. I don't know. I think it's a new model or something, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You play Wings of Glory? No.
No.
All right. Okay, this is for our Artipia games, but this is actually going to be Stronghold games are the ones that are pulling this over. Artipia games are the ones that make the Among the Stars and New Dawn and the drum roll and all that other stuff. They have yet to make a game I didn't like, which is pretty cool. I just did a review of New Dawn, which was a really awesome game. But this there looks like you're finally going to have to be you're going to be able to buy Among the Stars and Among the Stars the Ambassadors over at the booth in Stronghold Games. So if you don't own it, there's been some complaints about the fact that the games have been tough to get a hold of. And so there it is.
You should definitely own it. It is an excellent, excellent game. Absolutely fantastic. I
like it more than Seven Wonders. And I know a lot of people can. You do not? Well, then...
I still have to give it to Seven Wonders by a smidge, but the expansion definitely escalated it. The Ambassadors add so much and makes an already great game really spectacular. But I'd still give the nudge to Seven Wonders. Sorry, Artipia.
Nice. Okay, so moving on, we have Asmodee Games, the makers of Innovation, a game that I love. We have a first game up is Consequential. I was kind of mildly interested in this until I saw it was once again just another co-op, and I'm co-opted out.
What would you guess this is on my top 10 list?
This is one that almost made mine because I'm very interested in kind of the legacy idea with this, like the Risk legacy part. So it is on your top 10?
Yes, it is. Are you sitting down? Are you ready?
Number one. Is it?
Easily.
Oh,
my number one most anticipated game. If I could have been to Gen Con last year, it would have been then as well. Because I believe it was, you could see it last year. It's been a slow burn on this game forever. I mean, Carl Chuduk, I'm sorry, I don't really know who his co-designer is, Chris.
He's the owner of
Chris is great too, but Carl is amazing. He does fantastic stuff. Glory to Rome. I mean, hell, you love Impulse, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you love Innovation. So Carl's back. I don't know how much of the design is his versus Chris's, but still, his fingerprints on it gets me incredibly excited. I am incredibly excited because this is trying to push board games in a new direction, riffing off of what Risk Legacy did. But with the whole notion of the more you play, the more the game evolves, and more is opened up to you. But then it also pushes really hard the digital overlap, bringing digital gaming, or digital storytelling, really, is that's where it's at, into analog gaming. Because the functional way this game works, you start playing the game. It's a co-op game. It has elements of, basically, I guess you spend like a half an hour, 45 minutes, everybody strategizing, and then it finishes with a big, epic 10-minute real-time closer, to really ramp up the drama. And then depending on how you win or lose, the world evolves, and that evolution of the world is told to you through an app you can run on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, or on your laptop. You don't need to have a tablet to do it. And that will actually open up new stuff and new storytelling elements. I am just so pumped for this thing. So much so that I decided to call one of you off camera to tell you. That's me on the other line. I could not be more excited about this. I think, Joel and I, we talked about this in another video we did. I really do think the ideas that were really kind of championed in Risk Legacy represent one of the big directions board gaming is going to push, and I think Consequential has the potential to be on the forefront of the evolution of what all our favorite hobby is. And that's why it's number one.
Well, if it's going to evolve that way, I don't want it to be my favorite hobby anymore. I don't need an electronic aspect to my board games. I have enough electronics going on in my life. I don't want it invading my board games too.
See, that's really interesting to me. I wouldn't expect that, because you, as a strong, proud Ameritrasher, you love having really in your face kind of pushing of theme and storytelling. You love drawing a card that was pre-written for you as a, well, this didn't happen, and now roll your dice. This is just taking it to the next level and making that a much more enticing and well-produced experience, I would think.
Well, no, I see where you're going with that, but I mean, I just, like I said, I deal with computers and technology in like 99% of every other part of my life. I have a strict put your cell phones away atmosphere at board game nights. It's just that's my time to disconnect and not have to deal with any technology or anything. So maybe it's just.
How do you feel about Well, actually, I have no idea. What did you think of Escape: Curse of the Temple? Which had the real-time timer that required the soundtrack, which was a bit of technology of sorts.
I mean, I played what was that game from Vlada with the spaceship, and you'd play the Space Alert, and that one didn't really go over well for me either. And Escape was just, I don't know, wasn't a bad game, but it was just everybody just rolling dice like crazy, and it didn't really seem like there was any real game there.
More about the technological integration, because it wasn't fully analog. It was digital in some small way. I'm just kind of curious. I mean, because I'm really surprised. I mean, it's a fair observation that, damn it, board games are the last bastion of human to human, and we don't want computers. It didn't even occur to me. Of course, I come from a video game background. I make video games, so to me, it's really exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's fine. I mean, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. It seems like we can't ever disconnect from things. And one thing is it'll probably be amazing for the people that like it, and I don't want to. But for me, I'll play it. I mean, if I had a copy and something, we should definitely check this out. I'd definitely play it. I wouldn't just say, oh, it's got electronics, throw it away. But I would just. But I don't know. It's just, I'd much rather. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like.
You kids with your techno gadgets. In my day, we had wooden cubes, not digital cubes.
Exactly, and so like that's why I can't play a game on Vassal or stuff like that. That just annoys me. I just, play. Oh, whatever, Joel. Play a game via Skype or whatever. It's like, no, thanks though. I appreciate the offer. I'll just, I don't know. That's just me. So maybe I'm just a grump. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited with you, Richard.
It never occurred to me to look at it that way, but it is. I think it's a valid viewpoint. It's a crazy old grandpa viewpoint, but it's totally valid.
Oh, nice. Okay, moving on.
Your finger's moving closer to the mute. I see. Yes. There we go.
Moving on, the game Heat. Don't know anything about it. I don't really care.
I missed Equinox, but yeah, I don't know anything about either of these two, Equinox or Heat.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Equinox. My apologies. Impulse. This is a game I'm going to pick up. I'm going to buy this one. I'm excited to try it out. It just looks to be
Amazing. All right.
Yeah, you sold me on it too. So there you go.
Yeah, it's fun. Go watch the review. Next game. Trying to pick up the pace there.
Next game. Okay, now we move on to a big publisher, Asmodee. Okay, here's another timeline game. I've never played any of these timeline games. I don't.
Nor have I. I heard they're fun, but have not played these.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're very cool. And actually, I would think you guys both have kids, or I guess maybe your kids aren't quite old enough to appreciate. Yeah, of course they're not. I mean, they're not going to be able to. Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I don't know how old your kids are, Joel, but yeah, I would think
19 and 13. Yeah, that might be good. Pick a couple of these themes. Let's see, American history, Americana. Yeah, you might. I don't know. I'll have to take a peek at them, see how they work.
I think they are good fun. And good family fun. Really, if your kids are old enough to find it interesting that they invented the cell phone in the 1800s. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I think he would like that because he's a big. He likes how it works and all the stuff you kind of watch on the Discovery Channel over here. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, moving on. World of Tanks, Rush. I got a buddy who's addicted to the online game, but doesn't mean I don't know. I have any interest in playing a card game about tanks. Meh, whatever.
It's a monster game. But, yeah.
Yeah, good for them. Atlas Games. Looks like they're doing a second edition of Gloom. I have the Cthulhu Gloom, which I've played maybe twice. It's not horrible. I picked it up cheap. But I don't really... I mean, they must sell a lot of this Gloom game if they have a second edition already, so... But good for them.
It got the Will Wheaton bump, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
We could all use such a bump.
Yes. Everybody needs a Will Wheaton bump, right?
Everyone needs a Will Wheaton.
That sounds dirty. Anyway.
Make no mistake. Was I not clear about my Will Wheaton bump? No.
All right. Battle Hardened Games. Never heard of these guys. Looks like it's a war game. 1750 Britain versus France.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this either.
Yep. Moving on.
We'll skip it.
All right, here's one. Here's one that I'm pretty sure.
Marco, who is not here to be able to talk about Battlefield France front, whatever.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like, oh god, I haven't done my Mark impersonation in too long, and I haven't heard him talking long enough. I couldn't even try to fake it. This game really shows the battle between the. Okay, busier games. It looks like you can pick up a bunch of alternate werewolf stuff if that floats your boat. Then I think this is going to be on one of your guys' lists, if not both. It's not on mine, but Castles of the Mad King Ludwig.
Number 5.
Number probably 12 or 13.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things that kept it off is the one that it's not actually for sale. Yeah, you can go and look at it and you can touch it, but you can't have it. So, tough titty. So that really pushed up. And then also, I mean, what's the other thing? There's one thing that really works. I mean, the whole conceit is the notion that whoever is the first player, the lead player, is the one who says, okay, here's all the stuff that we'll all be able to purchase this round. And me, as the first player, I will choose what the value of everything is. So you can set high or set low or whatever, and then everybody else gets to buy before you do, and you're the last to buy. So it's very much kind of one of those, okay, I'll split up the pie, but then everybody else gets to choose a slice before I do, that kind of a thing. And in my experience, I mean, I love that, but gosh, that can be so AP-inducing. I mean, that can really, I can't think of harder decisions to make that can really drag a game down than the I'll slice, you take the first, I'll cut up the pie, you take the first slice. And this game seems to really focus on that in a slightly different way. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm still incredibly excited because Suburbia was so amazing, and Ted Alsbach is on a roll.
Yep, all those reasons Richard pointed out, but I'm more excited because of that. Yeah, I like to split up and then everybody chooses thing, and I don't know that works that great with 2 players though. Split and choose.
Well, it gets even worse with 2 players. I mean, because how big it's. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm still excited for it though.
Yeah. I like the theme
Excellent.
of it too. The theme is really cool. It's kind of crazy because the castles that you build are just—they don't look like they're going to look like anything realistically, that you could make. So I think that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, whatever. Subdivision. You know what? I think I'm the only person in the world who wasn't all that excited about Suburbia.
Oh,
So,
number 5 for Richard.
Yeah, number 5 for me. You're not so okay, but I'm sorry. Let's put Subdivision aside. You have a problem with Suburbia?
I don't know.
Do we need to take this outside?
I don't know. For my city building games, I want to feel like I'm actually building something, and I didn't really feel like I was building anything.
Loved Urban Sprawl. I mean, that was like manna from heaven for you, as I recall.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was one of my. The game's awesome. Yeah, raise the roof. I know. I think when I think city building, I think playing SimCity, and then I want the game. I want it to look like I'm building a city, and I didn't get that feel at all. It just felt like I was doing set matching and stuff like that. I mean, it's a good game. It just they wasted the theme on it, in my opinion. So.
Well, you weren't building a city. You were building a suburb. And to me, that was one of the cool things about Suburbia, is the fact that because I'm only building a suburb of the central city, which we never really focus on, my suburb is so directly affected by yours and vice versa. That was one of the coolest things about Suburbia. Subdivision, I'm just super stoked about because I love Suburbia so much, and it's kind of a spiritual sequel. Although I do really like the mechanisms. It really kind of reminds me, it sounds to me like kind of a cross between Castles of Burgundy and a card drafting game like Seven Wonders or Among the Stars, because you're doing the tiles are drafted. Okay, which tile am I going to build, and then it goes on to the next player. I just love that. I love it in Seven Wonders. I love every game. I love it in Notre Dame. I always love that. But then the other thing is every turn you roll the die, and that very strongly restricts you to where you can build in a very Castles of Burgundy kind of way. So you have that, okay, well, I've got all these things to build. I know where I have to build, and I know I'm going to give the other ones to the next player. And to me, that just sounds like a really great combination. I'm really stoked for it. Plus, then, it's also the spiritual sequel to Suburbia, which was full of awesome sauce. So it's number 5.
Yeah, I would say this one is probably a close, not a real close, like probably top 20, but, just because we have Suburbia, folks in the group like Suburbia. I played a ton on the iPad, too. So I'm kind of Suburbia'd out. I did really like the expansion, though. I thought that
it is great, yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's almost like a must-have.
I agree.
You gotta have the expansion, I think, for Suburbia.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I need the expansion for the game so I can
replace.
Yeah, it's just I keep looking at my top 10. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to get to any of them here. Okay, so moving on. Bigfoot's games.
Surely that's in your top 10, right? We've hit it. We've got You're number 3.
I didn't even see this game.
I got to move on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember seeing this.
Bigfoot's the card game. Post-apocalypse zombie-infested city. Moving on.
Wow.
Black Locust games.
I heard of it.
Moving on. Yeah, I don't. Whatever. I'm sorry. I feel bad. If these people obviously are like have, but I don't know anything. And you kind of lose me when I see a mechanic of rock paper scissors. It's like, okay, no thanks. So, moving on, we have BlackRock editions. Armadora. I was briefly interested in checking this out until I looked at it, and then I was like, no, that looks.
I don't know anything about it. I do like some other stuff they've made, but I haven't heard anything about this one.
It's a nice little, mostly abstract, grabbing territory, putting stones down, that defines what your territory is, trying to grab the most land kind of thing. It's nice, if you like that kind of thing.
All right. 30 minutes.
Long there. Yeah. Longhorn. It's by Bruno, so I mean that's good, right?
The first of 15 Brunos we'll be talking about.
Yes. But, I don't know. It's 2-player, so I'm sure Richard can go and schmooze a free copy from him if he goes and makes nice. So,
15 minutes, it says. Must be a quickie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. A filler. Little Bruno filler. I mean, he does several of those.
Yeah.
I have one Bruno in my top 10. This is not it.
I can probably guess what that is. But moving on. Blue Orange Games. Battle Sheep, no thanks. Brave Rats, no thanks.
I like
Brave
this
Rats is
one.
interesting. Actually, I thought about Brave Rats because what's his name? Senji Kan.
Sage Kai.
Yes. This is him finally actually sitting down to make a two-player game.
Yeah.
Because Love Letter is terrible two-player. Lost Legacy is terrible two-player. I mean, don't even bother, in my opinion.
Right.
But Brave Rats sounds like a it sounds very Love Letter-ish, but designed from the ground up to play with two. So I'm personally very excited about it. Plus, it's what, $10, so
Yeah.
and it has really nice art.
Yeah, I played it. It's pretty okay. I don't think it's going to blow your doors off, but it's a nice pocket game that you can play like on the train or whatever. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Meh. All right. Naya, another Bruno game.
Not my top 10.
That was not my guess for your top 10. Okay.
Then you are not the fool I took it for.
No. All right. Moving. Oh, hey, page 3. I feel like Paul Harvey. Page 3. Nobody got that. Nobody.
No.
Oh. Nobody listened to Paul Harvey. Well, I suppose you're not in Midwestern America. No. Neither are you.
They made fun of it on Saturday Night Live, in which case I might reference.
They did make fun of him, yes. I believe Rich Hall, of all people, did a impersonation of him from 1,000 years ago.
I was going to say.
Right. Here we go with Abyss from Bombix, which is kind of like an Asmodee group or what have you. So this looks interesting. It's a Bruno game.
Is this your Bruno, Richard?
Is it my Bruno, Lance?
Well, it's a Bruno for me. It's at number 7 for me.
Oh, there we go. We got one for Lance.
Very nice. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Welcome aboard.
I'll fully admit that like just seeing the cover of the game made me interested, just with that angry looking face. I don't know. It has a nice theme to it. It's
what
just
is
like
the theme?
some. It looks like
strikes me it's the Gungans living underwater in Star Wars Phantom Menace theme.
Well, I mean, like it's kind of weird like that, but more it's like there's like weirds like there's the Lords of the Abyss, underneath the water and whatever, and like you're just collecting set collection, and the artwork looks amazing.
Definitely.
And it's just like it's once again just kind of one of those weird recruit and variable player power stuff, screwing with other people. Yeah. Looks like it'll be a quick little card game I'll be able to play with my friends, and so I'm kind of interested in a great deal.
And
so
Richard,
that was a good choice for number 7. It was not mine.
I know. I didn't think. I thought this was going to be a little bit too out there for him. So that was not what I thought would be.
I have tried to get my head around this. I've watched videos of it, and So I'm interested, but I just can't commit at this point.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah.
Looks
no,
cool.
I'm excited just for the theme and the whole the look of it. I'm probably buying into it too much, just because of that reason alone, and maybe a little bit horrible. But there you go. So, all right, break from reality games. I know these people; they're pretty cool. Damage Report did not get any love, and it should have gotten more than it did.
It's a nice game.
Yeah, it is.
We played it not too long ago. Actually, yeah. I backed this one on Kickstarter because I was so excited because it promised 2-player support and real-time, spaceship blowing up gameplay like Space Alert, but we could actually play with 2. And there's only one mission that supports 2-player, so I was very disappointed by that. I probably should have done my research, but still, we did get it's one of those ones we did get a chance to play with 5, and had a blast. Really enjoyed it. Had a good time. Don't know how often I get to play it because that's once in a blue moon that we have more than 2, but still, very neat game.
Now, I wonder if this is like, because I have a copy of it that they sent me that I played that once again I need to review, and I'm a horrible person for not reviewing it yet. But I'm wondering if maybe they're finally going to release it, because I know the Kickstarter people got their copies. Maybe they're just to finally have it all come out or what have you. So, I don't know. Meh, what do I know? Okay, here we go. Moving forward to Brotherwise Games, Boss Monster. I don't know if you guys have played this. It's a pretty pretty simple.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It seems like it's getting a lot of hate lately, and I don't know why. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a quick little trifle of a fun recreation of old-style 8-bit dungeons. I mean, it does that very well.
Yeah, and I like it for that. I like it that it's just... And I think people don't like it because they think they want it to be more deep than it ever meant to be. And so it's just kind of like... well, I mean, I hate the excuse of, you expected this game to be something else than it isn't. I hate that excuse, but in some cases it does fit the moniker really well. And I think people thought that this was going to be a little deeper. I think maybe they're thinking maybe it would be like a card game version of Dungeon Lords, which, something like that.
Well, to be fair, that would be awesome, and it's not that.
No, that is true. That would be awesome. Vlada, are you listening? Get to work. Okay, moving on to Catalyst Game Labs.
This is on somebody's list. Oh, no, but it can't be. That's right, because they put it on the... Eric didn't put this on in time. Would this have been on your guys' list?
For Shadowrun Crossfire?
Yeah.
It would have been like 10.7 for me. The problem is that it's like, okay, I played Shadowrun since the very first ever edition of the role-playing game. I love the whole idea of Shadowrun. I've loved the role-playing game, and I was like, oh, cool, a Shadowrun board game. This is gonna be awesome. And then I was like, oh, it's a cooperative deck builder. Moving on. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like I this is a try before I buy type of thing. Even though Mike Elliott is one of the designers, and I do consistently believe in him as far as his ability to make good games. I just I can't buy into it. I'm so over if it's a cooperative game, I don't want it to just be cards. I want it to be a board and moving around and doing things, and I don't know. And I'm over deck building at this point in my life. I need to do something. Besides,
I'm sure you know the big thing about this game is that, again, like Lisk Legacy, it has that sense of permanence. That there is a story that gets told from game to game, and your deck building doesn't stop at the end of the game, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but the problem there is that it's like if we want to, we can go back to like Pathfinder, and like the whole idea is that it's trying to tell me a story or whatever, and maybe this one does a better job than some other ones, but. And like with Pathfinder, the card game, the whole idea was you're leveling up your guy, and they can do different things as you play, and so there's like that permanence feel. And it's just you can't. I had a great conversation with Scott Nicholson, another dropping a name, when he stopped by my house, which was awesome. And like his thing was, it was like we had we talked for hours I didn't videotape it, and we were talking about that, and we both kind of said like that one weird jump that we don't know what it'll take to take the role-playing game feeling to actually transfer it over to a card or board game is like it might just be too big of a jump. It might never be able to be crossed, just because of the fact that it's too much for the players to kind of buy into. You'd have to have like complete and total control of building your character and building the person that you are and whatever, and then you'd have to have that awesome malleability of the storyline that the game master controls and changes, and unfortunately board and card games just have too much structure, that they exist in.
Oh, let them try. Screw it. Let them keep trying.
Yeah, Grandpa.
They can keep trying.
Jeez.
Jeez.
I'll let that go.
Scott,
I don't want to become a thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Undead Grandpa. Nobody wants that.
My daughter's only 7, so it better be a long time from now.
Yes.
So no, but yeah, I don't think it can be done, and maybe somebody will. Maybe somebody will knock my socks off, and I'll be like, yeah, you did it. But I just don't see it.
All right. So just to get us back on track here, I played this. It's pretty fun. I don't know that it's amazing. I only played one demo game of it, but this was a year ago. They were still tweaking it and stuff, but it had a nice structure, a good core, and the roles felt very different, and there was a lot of teamwork stuff involved. It's a good, solid game, and I think people should check this out for sure. And I have heard some people saying, "Oh, this is better than Pathfinder, the card game." And it's kind of the same thing. I don't know about that, really. I'd like to see how it is now. I mean, it could be a lot different. I don't think it's gonna be that much different, but it could be somewhat different now than that. But it's a game worth checking out and getting a demo of, I think, if you're at Gen Con, for sure.
I'm excited about it. It might have made my top 10. It definitely would have if it hadn't been the Shadowrun IP. Sorry, blasphemy, sacrilege.
No, that's
Never
fine.
really cared for Cyberpunk.
No, that's
Fantasy
cool.
Cyberpunk even more.
No, I get that. I mean, I've run into a lot of narrow-minded people that just can't find themselves to enjoy things that are good. So,
what's the next game?
Okay. Obviously, here we have.
This is on someone's list.
Yes, it's my number
CD
10.
Projekt Red, the Witcher adventure game. This failed to reach my top 10.
Yeah, this is my number 10. Nobody else's list? Richard? No?
No. Not for me.
It's a solid 11 or 12 or whatever. I mean, it's one of those things where if it's there, I'll probably buy it. Just because, and this is horrible to say, but like, get it home, play it, review it. I mean, because I want to be able to be like, I don't like buying into being the first guy with the review, but this would definitely be one of those cool things to be the first person to tell everybody what you think of it. And so, and plus it's a designer that I love, and it is a game, and I've read the books, I've played the computer games, and so but there's just, I don't know, it just seems like there's so little information out there, to like really get crunchy with right now. So
there's a couple of good videos about. There's actually a board game or a computer version of it out, and there's a couple of videos on YouTube of a guy kind of trying to stumble through the rules and play the game. It looks kind of.
I believe.
What's that? They took him down?
I believe they got taken down because he was breaking NDA.
Oh, well, I guess I got to see him before that. Yeah. It looks interesting. It looks kind of Runebound-y, where you kind of go to a spot and do an event and do a thing. And
I thought it was just Eldritch Horror in the Witcher universe, basically.
Yeah, you just kind of... Yeah, that's the one. That's why it's 10. I really like the Witcher universe. I actually hate the computer games. I hate the combat and all this other stuff. I really like the theme and the backstory and all that stuff. I love that. I really got into that, but I've never been able to get past like halfway through either of the computer games. A lot of people really like them. I don't, but I'm really interested in that and how that comes across and how you're able to level up your mutant character and all that stuff. I think that's what you call them, right? Mutants. And but yeah, so I think it would be higher, but I think it's getting there on the strength of Ignacy. And the components look good, and so it's a light 10, but I'm definitely interested in this one.
Yeah.
So
the strength of Ignacy is not to be ignored. I will.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Moving on to Columbia Games. They look like they have some giant monster of a war game called Victory in Europe.
Yep. Looks cool. Not on my list.
All right. I'm sure it's number 2 for Richard.
I wasn't going to say, but yes. I would like to now launch into a half-hour diatribe of comparing and contrasting it to no.
All right, Conquistador Games, who had one of my like surprise hits with Tomorrow last year, which not a lot of people liked, which I didn't understand. I really liked that game. Anyway, I don't know, but maybe it's just maybe I secretly just enjoy abstract genocide or something. I have no idea. But
that game. Right,
yeah. So, but it looks like they have some games that are these war stories games. I know nothing about them.
Yeah, these aren't on my list, but these are something I'm slightly interested in. They're sort of quick war games. You can see that the playtime's 30 minutes. And it's a little system that they come up with. And I actually listen to these guys' podcasts all the time, so that's kind of one of the reasons I'm interested in it. But yeah, it's a quick, light war game, and I always look for those because it's fun to try to get folks to play these, and That's pretty much it. But then the components look really nice and stuff. So I've kind of sort of liked other things from them, but nothing has really kind of ever hit to me where I can say I ever want to play the game again. So I'm kind of hoping that these actually hit the mark. So we'll see.
Cool.
Anyway. Next.
All right. Okay. Continuing games. Mega Monster City Smash. Now the ridiculous thing is that I am going to have to buy this because I have a 7-year-old daughter that loves Godzilla. Yeah. So if you haven't seen what it is, you basically.
Oh, this is the. Yeah.
It's very simplistic. You build a little city with these little blocks, and then you wind up your monster, and you send them into the city and try to smash down your opponent's city. And it looks incredibly childish, but I will have a blast playing it with my daughter. I know. So
I loved crossbows and catapults when I was a kid.
Oh, so. Great game! Yeah, I put dents in my my father's sheetrock with that stuff. Crossbows and catapults back in the day, because we were upset because of the rubber bands weren't strong enough, so we wouldn't get like even stronger rubber bands. And yeah, me and my buddy Joe Geefer, we ended up putting holes in the. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, so that's something that's gonna be one of those games I bring home. Yeah. Once again, put it on her game shelf so she can have it and bring it out whenever she wants to play. So
it made her top 10.
Well, if I asked her, she'd probably. But I like having the stuff I bring home from the convention be total surprise for her, because she's.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's super excited because we send a box back via UPS, and then I let her open the entire thing when it shows up. So. Yeah. All right, here we go. Crash Games, and the awesome Patrick Nickel. If you're listening, you rule. So, and if you haven't seen him, he is. Joel, have you seen he's dropped like 100 pounds?
Yeah, he looks great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looks amazing. Yeah, I know. So, good on you, my man. So, Pay Dirt. I did a review of this. It is awesome. It was extremely. Tori Neiman's return to the Euro after the excellent Alien Frontiers.
Well, his sophomore effort, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just I love. I mean, you can watch my review. I'm not gonna blather about it, but of course, you can't have a copy, blah blah blah, because they don't, whatever.
It's worth waiting for. It was a very nice game, really cool, and engine building game where the game gives you an engine right from the beginning.
Yeah, and then making them having a way to having them break down and having to it's just so much. There's so much cool stuff going on all the time throughout the entire game. So lots of fun. Yardmaster, I enjoy. As far as weird little card games, I enjoyed that one a great deal. I did a review of that a while back as well. And Yardmaster Express, I did not end up doing a review of because I didn't have any time. But
it only takes 10 minutes.
I know, but I was so backlogged, and he was like, if I send you this, could you have a review up in 3 days? And I was like, no. So I was unable to do that. So
they're both nice. They're both lovely little fillers. One if you have 25 minutes, one if you have 10.
There you go. All right.
Now, the other thing about Crash Games, though, looking back at the top, what's this about Rotten State of Denmark, Council of Verona expansion, Dead Drop, Assassination of Jack Malone, and Kingdom Land? I don't know what any of those things are, and they all sound cool.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be. He doesn't actually have a booth, but he's going to be cruising around showing this stuff off.
And the cool thing about Patrick is that you can always find him in Hall E, isn't it? And he's just he's just camped out there, and we just sit there and play games constantly all night long. And he's a good guy. So, all right, this is gonna be a weird one because this is my guess for your Bruno game, there, buddy. Days of Wonder, 5 Tribes. That was my this
number two.
And this made my list at number 8.
Oh,
which
good call.
I had to grit my teeth and say that and put it on my list because it's a Days of Wonder game. So.
Oh, so for you it's the Chrome.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with it. It's just Days of Wonder. I mean, well, you know what? Kudos to Days of Wonder for finally not making another Ticket to Ride expansion and actually doing something other than that. So Everything I've read about this makes it look great, makes it look interesting. Like the whole thing about the rules being quick and simple and easy, and then actually like solving the game is another thing entirely. So I'm super excited for this one.
Oh yeah, I mean Jen and I, we love Trajan, love the Mancala, and this is a game where you share the Mancala. I mean, and it's not even a Mancala, it's a grid, but you still do that same, hey, there's 3 things on this space, I'll pick them up, that means I can move 3 spaces, and I drop stuff along the way, and I'm having to build color combinations and think way into the future, but now both players are in the same spot. I am super stoked for this. This almost made my number 1. It almost pushed Consequential out, but number 2.
Joel?
A close one.
Another close
almost
one?
Almost made your 10?
Well, whatever. He's busy thinking or something. I have no idea what he's doing.
No, I couldn't hear. So what you both you asked me a question at the same time. I was trying to figure out who to answer.
Yeah. Hey, just click off the babes there or whatever you're looking at, and
All right. Whatever. Go to the next game.
Devious Weasel Games, Shadows of Malice. I'm sure it's amazing, but moving on. Nobody? Okay, good.
No, I've not heard of this one.
It's a co-op fantasy game. I've read about it. I never really got a very good sense for what it is that makes it stand out from other co-op fantasy games. So I'm just not sure. I couldn't really get a picture of it in my head when I read about it.
Okay. Well, I do realize that I finally found Joel's number 1, Dogmite Games, the Lake Billy card game.
Right.
I heard they're actually going to be there. It was a last-minute entry, and it's going to have Game Timber custom deck boxes. I know you're excited about this one. Tell us all about it, Joel.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these people here. Sorry.
Thanks for running with the joke. Really appreciate you having fun with that one. Anyway, it looks like they have a game called Livestock Uprising. Looks like it's some sort of Animal Farm weird whatever game. Whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like it lasts 90 minutes, and that's probably 90 minutes too long. So
I'm sure it's nice. I'm sure it's nice. It's a nice little war game. It's at an Animal Farm. Nothing wrong with that. For all the Orwell fans.
Titanium Wars expansion from Euphoria Games, which will be in the yellow stand. I don't know. I didn't mind Titanium Wars. I thought it was okay. I've long since traded my copy away, so I don't really need an expansion to a game I don't own anymore. So.
Yeah, I've never had a chance to try this one, so hard to say about it.
There you go.
There's too many games coming out. People in the chat, some people are saying go slower, some people are saying go faster.
Do they not know about your toilet?
Yeah.
They don't know. They know they do know.
The turlet. He was making wine in his turlet from his prison days, and it broke. So leave him alone.
So we're not going to know everything here.
Okay. Evil Hat.
Yeah.
Evil Hat Productions. I have no idea who these people are. Deck building Zeppelin Attack. Moving on. Fantasy Flight Games. Of course, the big wonderment with Fantasy Flight is like, what's their secret going to be? Right. They always wonder if they're going to have some secret game they either release or they say that they will be publishing. So that's always interesting to see what they're going to be doing.
What's the prediction?
Well, the big thing is that that they might have the Witcher game, there. They said that they won't, and there's no way it's going to be for sale, but there's a chance that it might be there. That's the big rumor or what have you. So whatever. Mm-hmm. Here's another living card game because we don't have enough of them. Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. I'm sure if you were excited about that, then you are even more excited about it now. I couldn't. There's no way I could care less about this right now. No interest.
I'm loosely interested because I like the 2-player battle games, and I like to just play infinite of those. But can't say I'm extra excited because they're like you said. It's kind of like we're inundated with these. There's so many of them, so it's hard to get too excited about them.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Fireside Games, the guys who made Dead Panic.
Before we move off from FFG, I do hope they come out with the Battlelore 2 thing. There we go.
What's the what?
They've released nothing. Well, no, they've released nothing for Battlelore 2.
Anything for Battlelore 2, right.
Yeah, anything. So.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. And while we're at it, I hope they get off their asses and finally put out some goddamn Andor content. For the record.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't even really like that game, and I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Solidarity, brother. High fives.
Right.
I don't care. Sorry. All right, Fireside Games. There's if you like the game Dead Panic, looks like you'll be able to get a Bullet Park. I think Dead Panic was very what's I'm looking for here? Underappreciated co-op zombie game as far as zombie games go. I didn't really like Castle Panic when that one came out. It just seemed just mathy and no theme. But Dead Panic, I actually, the whole cabin in the woods and the zombies tearing you apart, I really enjoyed that. So that's my take. I don't really care if I get this bookmark or not, but I think more people should own and play Dead Panic. But that's my opinion. But looks like they are going to release Munchkin Panic, and because it says Munchkin, I don't care.
Well, it's basically Castle Panic with the Munchkin IP on top, and new cards and new stuff like that. I'm surprised. We can move on.
No, go ahead. Why don't I like Munchkin?
Well, I mean, I haven't played Dead Panic yet. I'm looking forward to doing it someday. Castle Panic was always really interesting to me because people don't seem to notice that it's a semi-cooperative game. It's designed to be semi-cooperative, and if you play fully cooperative, it becomes such a ridiculous cakewalk. It just, you just end up snoozing. And then the interesting thing about this Castle Panic, when I was reading the description of it, it seems like this time they're really pushing, hey, everybody, don't forget, there's only one winner. There's no co-op here. It's semi-co-op, and I think that might help because for me, Castle Panic, out of the box, and I haven't tried the expansion yet, but Castle Panic was neat, but just way too easy because we just weren't interested in trying to play it semi-cooperatively with only one winner because you have to play selfishly. But in this Munchkin version, because that's the whole Munchkin vibe, is that it is a selfish, take that kind of game. I think that's an interesting idea that using that IP to bring to the fore what Castle Panic always needed to really work well, IMO. IMHO, in fact.
Oh, there you go. Well.
Yeah, I have a loose interest in this one, but there's no. You notice if you're looking at the screen, there's no time frame on the game, so that's my only.
Well, Munchkin games have no time frame. So, okay, my good buddy Ben Harkins, and I say that because he's my good buddy.
He's on my list.
Floodgate Games. I did a review of Epic Resort. I think that game is awesome. I don't think it's actually out yet. I don't know if it's going to be. Maybe it is being released.
It
is?
Eric says it is.
Yep.
All right. Well,
this is my number
Eric
7.
Martin does not lie.
That's your number 7?
Yep. Looks cool. Love the theme. I really enjoyed Legacy. So yeah, there you go. Legacy is one of those we mentioned earlier underappreciated games. I think that is definitely one. Yep. I really like the artwork on this, and looks really cool. I don't know, there's something about it. I expect this to be very, very good. Yeah.
I did a run through for it too. We really enjoyed it. Worked well too. I think Legacy is still a better game. We still like Legacy more than Epic Resort, but Epic Resort is still a very, very fine sophomore effort from Mr. Ben.
Cool.
Harkins. Mr. Ben. And he owes me a copy, so I'll be stopping by his place and grabbing one. So there you go.
And then speaking of Ben Harkins.
Yeah. King of Clubs. Whatever. It's a card
I don't
game.
know anything about this.
It's a really simple card game. The theme is everybody's they're having a dance off, in Saturday Night Fever land, John Travolta type stuff. You have a handful of cards that represent different dance moves. I've totally lost plans at this point. I think his jaw just got snapped open with that yawn. Yeah, it's hard. It is just a clever little hand management. Play the right moves against the other player card game. I'm looking forward to it for the reasons mentioned above because Legacy Gears of Time is freaking awesome. Yeah. And so anything Ben Harkins does until I see something that's not awesome gets an immediate, okay, I'm interested. Epic Resort, awesome. Legacy, super awesome. King of Clubs, hey. If history repeats itself, could be surprisingly awesome.
There you go.
It could be surprisingly awesome. But it seems to be kind of a bit of a, well, whatever. Who cares?
We'll see.
Oh, here's Lance's favorite game is the next one.
Oh, why? What? No. What, are you
This did not make
insane?
your list.
Gone Viking. There we go, man.
Well, I did a review of Gone Viking.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, I did. I did a review. And basically the guy said it's about Vikings. It's a trick-taking game, and I don't mind trick-taking games. I think they're cool. This one has the cool thing because the Viking gods actually affect what's going on. As far as like which cards do what and stuff like that, and like if you are the most, it's kind of weird. It's like if you're like if I remember correctly, if you're the most successful Viking as far as getting the most cards or whatever, the Jarl shows up and demands like half of your stuff because like he's the person you have to pay up to, and so it's weird. Like you want to do well, but you don't want to do super well, and so there's like this weird kind of. So I did a review of it a while back, and I enjoyed it greatly. As far as like I said, trick-taking games go, I mean, I enjoy those. I remember I played Hearts about 1 million times with my family. So, it's stuff like that I enjoy. It looks like they're going to have Zombie Island for demo purposes. That
You
one
really
you
sold
might
me on
actually.
that one.
Yeah, it was a fun little two-player.
Yeah.
It's all like really abstract and moving about, and it was just kind of fun to like kind of figure out how many spaces you could move to avoid the zombies tracking you down and whatever. So you can check out my review for that too.
Yeah.
If
It's a nice
so
review.
interested.
You really did a great job on that one. I mean, that game went from 0 to hero for me based on your video of Voodoo Island.
Yeah, it was called Voodoo Island because the whole idea was like one person was the voodoo. Now that's just straight out Zombie Island. I don't understand how they went to 1 through 4 people. It was just like a 2-player game before.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how does it?
I don't know.
Are there extra zombie players or extra explorers?
I don't know. They must be changing it up or something. I don't know. I haven't heard much from the guy in charge of the company in a little while. So
one thing I am worried about though, $38. It's just a deck of cards, isn't it?
Well, it's tiles. Because you build the island. You build the island as you play. So there is more to it than just that. So whatever. All right, here we go to Flying Frog Productions, who, in my opinion, they have not. I mean, they came on the scene a while back with Last Night on Earth, which was a pretty fun zombie game with different scenarios, or whatever. They have one of my favorite like thematic co-ops with I can't even think. Why can't I think of the name right now? I want to say Something Wicked, but that's the expansion for it. Why can't I think of the name? Joel, help me out.
I have no idea. I haven't played any of their games. Last Night on Earth.
Last Night on Earth, and then it was the game that it was kind of like Murder Mystery.
Fortune and Glory.
Touch of Evil. Thank you. Touch of Evil. I couldn't think. I really enjoyed Touch of Evil. Thank you. So, but I played Conquest of Planet of the Earth. I didn't really like that one. I didn't really like the Invasion from like the weird one with the aliens. Wasn't really a big fan of that. The big giant coffin box game they had for Fortune and Glory is okay, but it takes too long for what it is. It's definitely a pretty cool idea or whatever. So looks like they have an expansion for Conquest of Planet Earth. I know a lot of people who say Conquest of Planet Earth is like one of their favorite games by them, basically because they didn't bother with having all like the super production for it. They didn't bother having the cards with the actors on them and what have you, and so on and so forth. So, but I thought Conquest of Planet Earth wasn't bad, but I just it didn't seize me. But then again, a lot of people say it's like their best game, so whatever. Looks like they got a Last Night on Earth Airstrike supplement, which I don't know, whatever. Looks like it's
I have
just,
nothing to say about being Flying Frog, so I'm ready.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm not because Shadows of
Let's revisit it.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, Shadows of Brimstone. Looks like the two big, giant, over-the-top, overly produced. Looks like amazingly made, and both Shadows of Brimstone City of the Ancients and Shadows of Brimstone Swamps of Death. I combined both of these together because basically you buy them and then you can have one giant set with a bunch of cool looking minis you can paint and play with, and this is my number 2 game that I'm excited for.
Oh, really? Well, I guess we should not have skipped ahead then.
Yes, I didn't buy into. Money was a little tight when the Kickstarter for this came out. For $400 or $415 or something like that, you could get both sets and tons of extra minis and tons of extra stuff. So I'm a little annoyed that I'm not going to be able to get all that stuff. But Deadlands was one of my favorite role-playing games, which was basically crazy, weird Wild West, where your gunfighters fought ghosts and demons and all kinds of stuff like that. And this one, it looks like you're checking out you're digging through a haunted mine, and the other one you're going into some huge swampland with reptiles and dinosaurs and all kinds of just crazy, goofy, awesome stuff. And
now you haven't played any of it yet, right?
I have not played anything. I've watched. I've kind of chewed up and watched whatever I could find out about either of them. I'm super excited to see them in person, and as long as they look as cool as I think they will, I'm going to end up dropping $200 and buying both of these with no doubt in my mind. So, yeah, and then people are going to say, well, why don't you just wait a month and you can get them both for $70 online? And I'll be like, but then that'd be a month I would not be able to play them. So, that's worth $60 to me. So as crazy as that sounds. So.
Well, and it's cool they brought the playtime down as well. Like you were saying, the Fortune and Glory, 2-3+ hours for what is a very light dice-a-thon. This is a very light dice-a-thon, but it seems to be a reasonable, appropriate length with some really awesome minis.
And I was glad that they didn't go with the whole one person against everybody else cooperative game. They put everybody together. You're all working together, and it sounds like each person will have their own special powers and abilities, and so it's like a cooperative game where it won't theoretically turn into just one person telling everybody else what to do, and so I'm excited to get this one and check it out. So there you go.
So that was your number 2.
That was my number 2. I combined them both into one. I don't know if that was allowed, but
that's right. Yes. Oh, yeah. Jen mentioned this because you listed them both, and so for anybody who did vote for that, don't worry, it counted because Jen basically did the extra math to say anything that had to do with this franchise. If somebody guessed it, that counted as a guess towards your top 10.
Excellent.
Because some people guessed for the one expansion, some people guessed for the other, and it was the whole thing. So Jen took care of that.
Sweet. All right, good deal. Joel, you don't care about it?
I'm just kind of lukewarm on it. Not. I'm interested, but there's just other things above it.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Then we move on to FunForge. I have liked a lot of stuff that FunForge has done. This is from Antoine Bauza, who, of course, everybody knows who that guy is. And here we have Samurai Spirit, which sounds like it's like this, kind of trying to be the 7 samurai and defending a village or whatever from a horde of bandits. And this is on my list. Samurai Spirit made number 9 for me. Number 9 for me.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Joel.
7 samurai. Number 7. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Oh, is it? Oh my gosh, that's totally by mistake. That's totally. I did not even think of that. But yes, you're right. Of course. So the Magnificent 7 Samurai is number 7 for me. I love Seven Wonders so much, which is my 7th favorite game of all time. Totally coincidentally again. And Hanabi is really cool. Ghost Stories I very much respect. It's just Jen doesn't like it, so we don't get to play it much. And I just keep hoping for more of that from Anton Bauza, and I'm hoping this is it. This seems like Rampage is cute and fun, but it's but Takedo and the other one that starts with T, Takanoko. I don't know. It seems like for a while he's been doing lots of games because I know he's a new father, and it seems like he's making games he wants to play with his kids or something. I'm really hoping this is getting back to his Ghost Stories roots, getting back to his Seven Wonders roots. Sounds very cool. I'm very excited about it. Fingers crossed. Number 7, Samurai
Yeah,
Spirit.
I'm really hoping that they're saying that it sounds like it'll be there, as long as there's no unexpected mistakes with the production or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
ships lost at sea and stuff like that.
there you go, Cthulhu rising from the deep. But
These things happen.
so, Joel, this one you don't care.
No, I think it looks cool. Ghost stories ish. You know, I kind of wanted to like ghost stories, but I didn't, and you know, so this maybe will be a sort of a version of that or redoing of that I can get into. But it didn't make my list. I don't know where it would be. I didn't give it much thought because it kind of seems. It looks cool though. I like it. I mean, it looks neat.
If anybody's listening out there, they need to reprint the Black Secrets expansion for Ghost Stories. But anyway, so moving on. Gale Force 9 Productions, the people that made the excellent game Spartacus, which I love. They looks like they have an expansion to Firefly the Game, a game that I was kind of lukewarm about.
Almost made my top 10. This is probably, you know, top
I was going to
15.
ask, yeah.
Yeah. This is one, you know, I removed it. This one got cut after Trains. The Trains expansion was in there for a little while, but then it got moved out. And then this one, it stayed in there longer and longer and longer. This looks really cool. I mean, the board game actually led me to the TV show. So I'm really into it. I really enjoy this game. And, but I don't know if you guys... it doesn't really work with 2, Richard, if you've ever played it.
No, well, it's pick up and deliver. Pick up and deliver, Jen, it's very rare that we find a pick up and deliver game that we don't find kind of tedious, in all honesty. Although, love Firefly, huge Firefly fan. I don't believe Lance is, but...
No, I like it. I have too many friends that are just Joss Whedon nut jobs, so they just ruin it for me. So I just... well, it's just I can't just sit there and just rub myself while I talk about them. So apparently I'm not cool enough to have a conversation about the ins and outs
You're not
of
rubbing
the
yourself
show.
now while talking about the brown coats?
No, sadly
2x2?
not.
No? All right, never mind.
Just
Jeez.
whatever. People, guys that like. I know people that have the "you can't take the sky away from me" tattooed on themselves. So so it's just kind of like, let it go. It was 13 episodes of a decent show. So and there's a reason why it isn't on TV anymore. And I probably just lost 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody's finding out. You just burned the house down.
Yeah. So then we're moving on. We have Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem. I have a
On
bunch
my
of
list.
that.
What? Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Who? What?
Number
Where?
8. Number 8.
Number
No.
8.
Yeah.
Really?
I think.
Which one?
Yeah. Well, the first season is one of my favorite pieces of television. From there,
The
it
first
went
season of Sons of
down.
Anarchy?
Yes, absolutely. It went downhill every season after that. I don't watch it anymore. Actually, I think I'd actually despise the show at this point, for political reasons almost, but different reasons. They really jumped a lot of things, and me and my wife actually we watch a lot of TV together, and we were viscerally upset at the last season. But the first season and the next few were great, amazing. We really got into it, and so I've always also wanted a good gang game, where you sell guns, you sell drugs, you're a criminal, not like this mafia, light feathering of like romanticized 1930s jazz. I want like real criminality, just brutal, and that this is like what this is gonna have, and
Yeah, I guess it will.
so there you go. And on the strength of Firefly, and I still haven't played Spartacus. I gotta play Spartacus. But, on the strength of their previous releases, I think they'll do a decent job. I've looked at their trailers and, some of the artwork and stuff, and it seems very true to the show with some of the different gangs and the locations and how it's going to work. So, yeah, probably, like you said, I'm kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes, you are the wild card.
Yeah, so this kind of fits that. And
So it's part because of the love of the first season and part because you aim to misbehave. If we were
That's
going
right.
if we want to throw back to some Firefly.
Yeah. So that's my number, what was it, 8?
Wow, that's the surprise of the show so far, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. You know,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, I have no doubt they'll pull it off. I mean, apparently Firefly is awesome. Apparently Spartacus is awesome. Why won't they do it again?
Yeah.
Be true to the show and make a cool game. I mean, that's a rare skill, and so far they're 2 for 2.
Yeah, I guess there's supposedly somebody. I read a rumor that they're working on an X-Files game too. So
is it them? Somebody is. I don't know if it's them. You might be right. I know somebody's working on
Richard
X-Files.
Lanius doing the X-Files game.
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was Richard Lanius, although I don't know.
Meh. We'll see what happens. So we have
But
GCT.
after that bombshell.
Yes. We have GCT Studios. Don't know anything about this. Rise of the Cage. Don't know anything about that.
They just added Rise of the Cage. These are the guys that do the Bushido miniature game. And so it's their first board game. That's the only thing I know about that. It was just added.
All right, moving on. Golden Egg Games, Alod, and the much beleaguered Alod, I should add.
I'm sending positive thoughts out there to the uniform right now. I hope he's okay. Very worried for him.
What happened?
Oh, you don't know?
No.
He got called back into armed service in Israel.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know. Haven't heard anything since that got announced. Because he's running a Kickstarter campaign, and the designer on Atlas had to step in to finish the Kickstarter campaign because I don't know if he's in the. I don't know.
Right.
Sorry, that's a bit downer. Let's bring it back up.
Well, everybody send positive thoughts to that, to him especially, and everybody.
Well, to everybody.
Right.
Obviously. We don't need to make this a political show, but.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I mean, I when I heard that, I was sad because I got to sit down with him last year, and I know Joel, you had a good conversation with him too, and he's a really really nice guy, and he and I have we talk online a lot, so I'm worried about the dude, so just like I'm worried about anybody. So, but I did a review for Atlas, Duel for Divinity. It's one of those. It's a 2-player game that's like the coolest thing about it is that you can basically make anything you want. You have this big giant deck of all these different like concoctions and things that you can use to create like your warriors that you send out there. And so it's hard to explain. There was a game that I used to play called Mail Order Monsters way when I was a little kid. It was same kind of deal. You'd order a monster, you'd give them all these different abilities, give them claws and acid breath, and they could fly, or they had they could shoot bombs or something. And then you create it, and the other person would create one as well, and then they'd fight. And it's kind of like the same thing. You create these monsters, you create these creatures, and then you and another person fight. And whoever wins gets to become a god. That's the idea of the game. So, highly enjoyable tactical game that I reviewed a little while ago. So,
yeah, I think it's very.
It's a bummer. I was looking forward to doing a video. We had scheduled an appointment to video this, and oh well.
Yeah, well,
hopefully, you bummed me out.
I'm sorry, dude.
No,
well, to cheer you back
up,
I had to go look it up. I had to go look it up. The X-Files game is actually it's coming from Pandasaurus and designer Kevin Wilson.
Okay.
Just for the record, not so.
All right, very good. So
I was in the same ballpark.
Okay, moving on. Greater than games. We have Galactic Strike Force, which has been out for a while now, which is a very good game. They'll be demoing that. We won't bother talking about that. And then we have Sentinel Tactics: The Flame of Freedom. Should I go get my prototype version that I still can play anytime I want? I can show that to the camera.
Yeah, you stick it up your ass.
Good, but
it's number 3 for me.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait. Actually, can you? I don't know if you've done a video for. I don't think you've done a video for it yet. Then have you, Lance? Because I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, I did it.
Did you?
I did it for back during the Kickstarter when it was being Kickstarted.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like straight Sentinels, is this still a game where if you're going to play it 2-player, really both players should be controlling multiple heroes?
Well, the thing is that it's
because that's what kills Sentinels.
One person plays the villain, and then and then the scenario.
Okay.
So
Right.
So like
Okay.
you get to play Baron Blade, and then like Jen would be able to pick like two heroes, and then you two
I see.
would duke it out, you know, and it's really cool because it follows the scenario actually follows like a set like kind of thing where it's like, okay, and then Baron Blade has to like create these power bases or whatever in the city, and if he can create 4 of them, then he wins that part. And if you don't create those 4, it doesn't end the game. It means that like during the next phase of the scenario, did he get those done? No. Okay, then do this. Did he get it done? Yes. Okay, then do this. And so you kind of branch off and you follow a storyline, and then you see who ultimately wins or loses, and it's pretty cool actually. So. And plus they are overproducing it like crazy with cool minis and all kinds of great stuff. So, and the fighting system is so extremely straightforward. It's just you can just dive in and pretty much figure out how to play in about 10 minutes. So. Mm-hmm. You won't have your nose buried in a rule book trying to remember what the rule was for, like, so if I'm over here and I did this action and compared to what you did, you know, nothing like that. The game is just you can tell the range, you can tell whether or not you can see somebody or fight somebody by just staring at the board and knowing in about 10 seconds. So it's pretty awesome.
All right.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. Green Couch Games. Fidelitas.
Wait, I'm sorry. It was Joel's number 2.
Was it your number 2? Number 2, number 3? Oh, Joel. 3. Okay. 3.
No,
okay.
Lance covered it fine.
Okay.
I was just listening to him talk. I was like, okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Lance covered it perfectly. I got nothing to add.
All right. He brought a tier to your eye. Okay.
He did.
All right then. So, Green Couch Games will not have a booth, but they have a very neat looking game. The artwork looks amazing. And Philip Tiberi, called Fidelitas. Like I said, the art just looks astounding. It looks like it's going to be a Kickstarter that's going to go live at some point here fairly soon. You've played it, I take it, Philip? Or
I just want to wave something in your face that I can wave in your face. Look, it's my little prototype copy of Fidelitas right here. With beautiful, gorgeous art. Video coming this week. This is a great game. Plays great too. Plays great with more. Absolutely love it. So much fun. And what's his name? Jason Katarski, his co-designer, who was the designer of the Great Heartland Hauling Company. So the two of those guys, they produced a very nice little package here. Normally, when I get prototypes, after we played them a few times, I do the run-through. There's a bunch of people in Malta here I know that I end up, hey, you want this prototype? Because I'm not going to keep it because I've got too many games as it is. We kept this one. Jen did not want to see that one go.
Cool. Now it's on my radar.
Yeah, no, everything I read about it makes it look really cool. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit tough to track it down and be able to dink around with it, but over in Hall E though, so you can definitely head over there and check it out if you want to. So
I will.
Okay, Cthulhu Wars. I did a review of this a while back. It's one of those things that's kind of in development hell right now. It's very slowly but surely getting made. I can't wait to see this. I want to see the minis. I saw a lot of people pick this to be on my list. It isn't because I've already done a review and.
That was the rules.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm definitely excited to go check it out and take a look at how the miniatures are turning out. However, so.
All right.
I'm sure it's lovely if you love that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and if you don't like it, then what the hell's wrong with you? So,
we're going
Gray Fox Games. Yes, Gray Fox Games. I don't know anything about this. Conquest of Sparrows. No idea. However, I do know something about Griggling Games. This is they came out with Destination Neptune, which is a game that I've played a couple times now. I should be able to have a review eventually, fairly soon. It's kind of it's a pretty cool little space exploration game that I would suggest if you like a lighter game that's space based. I would definitely suggest taking a look at it. So,
Well,
and
this
I
is
know
one that I made
was
it my number 9.
Oh, good. Yeah. All right. Cool.
you
Yeah,
you had this on your list.
Did Joel? Did you too?
No, I was going to say it was one that I was kind of close, but go ahead.
Yeah. I'm. Last year, one of my Kickstarter backers forced me, kicking and screaming, to do a High Frontier run through, which was murder. But I always loved the idea of High Frontier. It's just too far beyond me. And this seems like, I love this notion of a science fact instead of a science fiction game. I'm really, really stoked about it. I hope it's good.
It's
and
fun.
You say it's good.
Yeah, it's fun. I've enjoyed it. So
Cool.
check it out. And they also looks like they are going to have Quartermaster General. I'm not sure if they'll have copies. Oh, it looks like they will. Yeah, looks like they will. And that's like a World War II card-based game, which I'm not exactly excited about, but I'm sure there are people out there that will. So
Yeah, I know nothing about that one.
no.
The graphic design seems quite nice.
Now, this next one is something I'm excited about. The board game publisher Haba, which they do a lot of kids games.
Yeah.
I didn't put anything about anything they have on my list at all, but this is one of those things where I am excited to check out what they have and what I can pick up just because of my kids. My son is just getting old enough to kind of look at when we were playing games that he can play. Like Coconuts, and we just were playing Tumbling Dice the other night, and he was playing. So I'm definitely going to check out their booth, and I'm going to look and see if I can pick up some games that he can handle and he would like. And I'm looking forward to checking out their booth. So
yeah, I wish my kids were so small so I could get these games.
yeah, so I'm excited to check that stuff out. So. And that's the first time I've ever been at Gen Con, which is really neat. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad.
That's a good point.
So they
Making the big jump.
yeah. Okay. Harebrained Schemes Publishing. Don't know anything about them. Golem Arcana is a digitally enhanced miniatures board game focused on armies of magical golems. Okay. It looks like they're going to be doing demos of the game. Now, by digitally enhanced, I'm sure this ties into what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an app-based thing. It looks pretty interesting. Go ahead, Richard.
Eating can be fun. With lots of little things instead of lots of fun. Don't dribble till you dibble. A dabbler. All right. Sorry, I just went off on a Schoolhouse Rock tangent there.
But yeah, I'll be just a little plug for myself. I'll be making a video of this one. I'm intrigued in this. I'm kind of with Lance, a little curmudgeonly on this stuff. I am interested in Consequential. That looks very interesting. This seems like kind of one of those. My son has this game for the Xbox. What's it called? You plug in the figures, and then they do different stuff, and then you swap the figures out, and then you control the different guys on the video game.
Oh, you, my friend, would be talking about my daughter. I'm looking at. She's got 100 of them.
It's the game from
What's that, Richard?
Is it the game from Activision that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head?
Probably.
Is it cutesy little ones, or is it serious stuff?
Oh, give me a second. Now I got to think of it.
It's a side-scrolling platformer kind of thing. As far as
I'm thinking of Skylanders. My
That's
daughter,
what I was thinking of, Skylanders.
my daughter has a. Oh, what a money suck that is. But anyway,
Says her dad. I wonder where she gets it from.
Well, yeah, but I just, it's like, and I love playing the game with her. Trust me, but
it's kind of neat. But yeah,
it is.
You gotta get it. It's like you gotta get them all, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it's totally that. And here's the special rare one. It'll only be available for 1 week. It's like, or else you're paying $800 for it on eBay or something. But anyway, okay, moving on.
Here with this one is it might just be that,
Yeah.
What is the digital enhancement? Do you know?
Well, you get this app, and then I don't know. You plug in the miniature, and there's some spatial thing or something. I don't know. I'm really in the dark, but I'm interested to see what, because like you, Richard, I'm interested in what can be done. I don't want to really play a video game. You know, I think you kind of know the difference. Like when you play Inconsequential, I don't think you're going to feel like you're playing a video game. You're going to feel like you're playing a board game. It's just enhanced with an electrical device. It's to become another component, right? It'll be like a pawn or a cube or a thing. And I think the board game face-to-face thing is still going to exist. We'll see. You know, I'm of the mind people should just do whatever and push the boundaries, and your thing's gonna suck or it's not. You know.
I look forward to your report.
Yeah. So.
All right, Helvetia Games, a game called Unita or Unita. I don't know. It's like this game has like 64 dice, and you don't roll any of them. So no, thank you.
It's a war game, and the units are dice that you put on the battlefield.
Next. Okay, we have Yellow, great publisher. They make awesome stuff. Here's a game that almost made my list. I have to see it. I need to read the rules to this before I make up my mind. Guardians Chronicles, another superhero-themed game. Like I said, we're getting more and more of these, which is awesome. It looks like this is the all against one, up to 5 players. So. The good guys that fight against the evil guy, a la Descent. I'm excited for it. It didn't make my list. Did it make anybody's list?
Nope.
No. It almost did. I think the problem is that like you have a cool theme and a cool idea, but nobody is saying anything about it. So that makes me worried. It's kind of like when they don't allow the movie to be reviewed before they release it. You know, it's just like because it's a pile. So
this one had some Kickstarter issues and stuff I've been reading about. So
Oh, did it?
That's I mean, this is Kickstarter like 2 years ago or something at this point.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you talk about Nick from Dice Tower. Here's his comment. We better get our copies, kind of a thing. The thing that strikes me as odd about this is because you were talking about, hey, it's a golden age of superhero games, and okay, here's another superhero game, but it doesn't feel like it because it's a superhero dungeon crawler, because the whole thing takes place in the secret lair, right? So it's entirely a dungeon, and that's not where you expect to be a superhero. I mean, that's like a little tiny part. That's the final act, but you're not out saving citizens. So it just seems kind of like an odd disconnect to me somehow. I'm interested in it because it's odd, but it is still odd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, up next, Heroes in Normandy. This has been out for a while.
Hey, are we on page 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
We have 45 minutes or so. We're just not even halfway done.
All right. Heroes in Normandy. It's been out for a while. I'm thinking about playing it at some point, but I don't know. It's one of those things. Maybe I'll buy it at some point when I decide to. But I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Right now.
I got it. Read the rules. It looks pretty fun. I haven't played it yet though. So.
All right.
Sorry to say.
Coming up next is my number 10, King of New York. I love King of Tokyo. It was the first game that my daughter ever played and got. It'll hold a spot in my heart for the rest of my life. I will remember the moment when she needed to just roll one more scoring die and she would have won, and she actually handled it well, and like she had a little tiny tear in her eye when she realized that she hadn't won the game, but she toughed it out, and I nearly cried. So for that moment alone, it gave me this awesome moment in my life that I'll remember forever. So anything that has anything to do with King of Tokyo, I will pick up and purchase and play with my daughter. So
well, that is beautiful.
Was this on your list, Richard? No.
It doesn't change the fact that I hate King of Tokyo. It's just absolutely god-awful experience. I can barely stand to be in the same room as it, but it does not change the fact that I thought that was a very beautiful and touching story, and I totally get it. And I totally get King of Tokyo, but for me, I have no interest in the same way I have no interest in professional sports. It reminds me of being a little kid, and all my friends were so into whatever, the Chargers or whatever, and I'm like, I don't care about any of this stuff. And King of New York, I mean, it's so big, it's so popular, and it's like, when I finally sat down and played it, I'm like, oh my god, really? This? Really? There's a billion other Yahtzee variants I'd rather play than this, and I don't think King of New York is going to change that. But That was actually a really cool story.
Well,
Yes,
you have no soul. So,
Well, there is that. There is that little part.
no.
This is one that
I
almost
stole
made my
it to a
list,
gypsy,
but
you see.
go ahead.
No, I don't know. It's just so much. It's a turn my brain off fun game, and I see the problem is that I have played with people that have almost ruined King of Tokyo for me because they actually strategize and they play the game, and they're actually like, okay, I need to do this, and then I'll get that. No, just roll the stupid dice 3 times and then just hand them over. This isn't a game. This game should be over in 25 minutes, and you're making it suck. So, but anyway, so that is what it is. So, okay, next game, Night of the Grand Octopus. I don't know anything about this.
3-player game. See how easy it is? 3-player game. You just say, move on, next. It's so powerful.
Tales of Games, The Hare and the Tortoise. I will get this just because it's my daughter, and we have the other 2 games, Baba Yaga's Hut, and
You will play this with me and Marco. So I'm just going to tell you right now.
This is the Three Little Pigs game sequel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second sequel, so number 3 in the list.
Right.
So my daughter just yelled from there, "You're getting that!" She just yelled from her room behind me. So, all right, I know, honey. Okay. So the next up is Zombie 15. This would be a game I'd think about getting if it wasn't $80 for a game that takes 15 minutes to play.
Wow. It's on Richard's list? 10?
It is my number 10. And you're right, I am worried about that price. I don't get that. I mean, if the picture, if that's what you get for $80, that model, Cityscape, perfect, awesome.
Yeah.
No, you do not.
I know, of course. Yeah, I don't want to spread any rumors there. But I don't know. We really enjoy real-time co-op has really hit big with me and Jen. We really enjoy it. I saw a bit of this at Essen last year. Everybody likens it to Escape, but it's actually a very, very different. Other than the fact that it's real time, but I'm excited about it. Number 10 for me.
All right, cool, man. Moving on.
See, I got a little soul back there.
There you go. Yeah. Lamplight Games, Nautilus Industries. First of all, quickly, Mike Friesen designed Space Junk. That'll be there. I did a review of that a while back. A pretty solid little racing design your spacecraft game I enjoyed. But Nautilus Industries, he sent me a copy of this that I have to do a review of for his upcoming Kickstarter. And he blew his original design away with this new one. He's definitely this for his sophomore effort for his game company. That's gonna knock that one out of the block. So I will look for a review. I don't know. Did he send you a copy too, there, Richard? Or?
Yep. Yeah. My review's going up this week, likely. In fact, I think it's already uploaded. I'm just waiting for him to check it out to point out any really bad goofs I made, and so it launches this Kickstarter. Really very cool. It is so rare to find a market simulation game, commodities market game that works really well with 2. That's another hen's teeth right there. Normally, for those games to really excel, you got to have more people as more seeds of chaos making things go up and down. But this game I think works. It just works so well. Jen and I were very, very impressed. It's so smart. The way that as the market climbs, I guess you could almost kind of call it a market depression is built in that makes it really, really tough to push your favorite company because you buy stocks like Airlines Europe or something like that, and really, really great. Jen's and my only problem with it is it's a pretty nasty game. It can be pretty cutthroat, probably a bit more so than we like, but still very much respected. Really smart design, really nicely done.
It actually, the cutthroat aspect actually reminded me a lot of a game called Neue Heimat. If you're aware of that game, it's like look it up sometime. It's a very almost abstract market game, but it is as cutthroat as a game can be. It is a very nasty game as far as that's concerned. So just throwing that out there. All right, we have Legion Supplies Publishing, Foretold Rise of the God. I have no idea what that's about.
He missed Space Junk, but I don't know anything about it. So
no, Space Junk is a game that already is out.
Yeah, he had mentioned it prior.
Oh,
He got a
okay,
little out
sorry.
of order there.
Okay.
Foretold, I don't know. I think it's cool, the notion of, okay, I'm a god. I mean, it sounds like Populous the card game, which is neat. I like that idea. Let me drop a name. Having worked for several years with Peter Molyneux, I very much enjoy the idea of Populous the card game. But
So is he actually crazy?
oh, he's insane. He almost drove me
Okay.
insane. Working for him for 4 years, first time in my life I had high blood pressure. I developed this really almost permanent twitch in my eye. Almost killed me to get Fable 2 out the door. But, right, I didn't even know why I brought that up. No more name dropping. That's I'm getting the eye twitch again.
All right, Level 99 Games and Brad Talton, Argent the Consortium. I mean, I don't know any of the stuff that's coming out with. I mean, Pixel Tactics games are pretty fun, but I don't know anything about Pixel Tactics 3. I think that's already available, actually.
Yeah.
He's got the game Cell Swords. I know nothing about that. I know nothing about Argent the Consortium.
Argent, Argent, I got a chance to do a little demo of last year, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. It probably is going to be out before Gen Con, I think, at least the backers. But it's a really kind of funky worker placement game with some area control stuff where you're kind of trying to win over votes, so to speak, of a different not schoolmasters, but it's been a while. But it looks really cool, and it looks very completely different kind of theme that you would see for this kind of Euro. So I'm excited about it. It's not in my top 10, but kind of part of that is because I expect to have it beforehand. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, moving on a little forward, we have publisher Lebelud or whatever, I don't know. Dixit Daydreams, I don't know. Am I the only person that didn't really enjoy Dixit? Probably.
Probably.
So we'll just move forward. Then we have...
For the record, Dixit, the only game we own that requires 3 players. We like it that much. Yeah.
Neat.
All right.
Okay, and then we have the board game Lords of Zidit, or Dixit, as you probably obviously see. I don't know.
Honestly, I did not see that. Now I feel really stupid.
Yeah, so do I.
Really?
Yes, it's yes, that was dumb of me to not see that because that is very obvious.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks interesting, but I need to see it and I need to play it before I.
I think it's a redo of an old game. I can't remember the old game.
And I think it might be a redo of an old Kinesia game, which means I don't play it. So.
No, it's the same designer as before. I don't remember though, but yeah, it's like an old game. It's not Kinesia though, Lance. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, well, don't trick me into playing another Kinesia. All right,
well,
so
that's a story for another time.
That's a story for Gen Con over a beer. So,
yes.
Okay, Lookout
over
Games.
Some Tigris and Euphrates, no doubt.
Yeah, okay, Lookout Games. Obviously, Lookout has lots of cool stuff. Like Gold Ahoy looks like some weird abstract tile game. Johari. I mean, Carlo Lavazzi. I mean, I think I know that name.
Yes. This is important to look at. I don't remember who Carlo Lavazzi is. I'm actually have to look because I remember thinking, I don't know, maybe. Oh, Carlo Lavazzi. When I looked him up, what? Oddville. Oddville is an excellent under the radar little city building game that nobody seems to know about, and this is what he's got next after Oddville. So, boom. We liked Oddville so much, Johari almost makes my top 10. Didn't quite, but just his name bumps it up for me because of Oddville.
All right. So then we have Ludonaut with Colt Express, which I don't know anything about.
Oh, you should be super excited about this. You don't know anything about it?
No.
The board is an actual 3D model of an Old West train with 2 floors, the actual insides of the cars and the roof. And what happens is we are all stage robbers, or train robbers, all working against each other. We're all trying to rob the train at the same time, and everybody has to. The 2 phases: the scheming, where everybody plans what they're going to do this round and reveals it at the same time, and then it all blows up in our face as we all run around trying, kind of almost like a Robo Rally kind of thing, where we're all robbing a train, and the train itself is this cool 3D model of a train with the top and the bottom. I think it sounds really awesome.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I see it isn't going to be released, but
no, it's just going to be there as a prototype, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right,
if it had been
Mantic.
there for reals, it might have made my list, but
Right.
it's not for reals.
Okay, Mantic Games. We have some Dreadball stuff. That Dreadball is something that I've wanted to get into, but I haven't yet. So I don't know. Do you play Dreadball, Joel?
Yeah, not a lot. I gave my copy to my friend. There's a Blood Bowl league in Spokane. Oh, I'm sorry, the town next to mine. And
Everybody knows where Spokane is.
yeah, right. Anyway,
Cini, actually, I don't know if I ever told you that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Sorry, that's totally as an aside, but
Yeah. Okay. But I like Dreadball. Out of the three, I would call the big three Blood Bowl, Dreadball, and now Chaos Ball. Dreadball is definitely at the top of my list for those. It's very streamlined. It's actually easy to play. It looks very daunting, but it's not. It's not at all. It's super fun and bloody and all that good stuff. But yeah, more Dreadball stuff is good for people that are into it.
All right, fair enough. Okay, Marquee Games, the game of 49. Meh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay,
Cyclades.
Matago.
Great.
Cyclades.
Cyclades.
Yes. Okay.
Clackety.
Second expansion. Well, I love Cyclades, and Hades is a great expansion. So, this is one of those though. I might just wait until I get home and order it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. We have Core, which I don't know about, and I'm just going to move on.
Okay.
oh, Corgans?
Yeah.
Here's
You know
the thing
that
that scares me about it. It's from the designers who did, I forget the name of it, that time travel game that had the 3 different fields at once, and the thing you changed in one would propagate out to the other ones, and it was a real mind screw of a game. This is from those guys, and so I can only assume it'll be another big mind screw of a game.
Just 30 minutes though. So.
Well, maybe not then.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, Mayfair.
Chronos. That was their previous game, Chronos,
Yeah, I'm talking about it.
which was an insane, mind-blowing game. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Here we are with Mayfair. They all have a big presence at Gen Con. Bedpans and Broomsticks. Remind me to tell you.
Joel has something to say about that.
I will tell you a funny story about that. I played that with Scott Nicholson, and when we were on each other, I will tell you a funny story about that. Then we have Hot Tin Roof.
That's a decent game. That's not
that
new.
is. It's not new,
Game.
and that's kind of. I'm waiting for my daughter to be a little bit older. I think she'd be able to grab that. Las Vegas Up. This is all stuff that they're just demoing. It's already been released. Up actually made Las Vegas a good game, in my opinion.
What? I want to get out of here. Die. All right. Lords of Vegas is amazing. Next.
No, it isn't. But anyway,
It's amazing.
No, it's not.
Insane.
It's not amazing for a 2-player game.
Oh yeah, no.
But the expansion actually made the game good. So there you go. So
Still no good for a 2-player game, I assume.
nah, I don't play 2-player, so I have
No, you
more
gotta play
friends
at least
than
3.
you do. So you know how it is.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Joel, did it make your top 10? No? Then I don't think you have a leg to stand on.
Yes, exactly.
I already have it.
Yeah. All right, Mad City.
That's a fun game, a good kids game.
Yeah, it's a kid's game. So, now Villainy is one that I'm actually kind of interested in, but there's nobody knows anything about it. It's just here's a game because it's once again Mayfair. We just don't release anything about any of our games ever.
Yeah.
It costs $50. You know that.
Yeah, it costs $50, and it's just it sounds cool. You're an aspiring supervillain, and all this kind of cool stuff that you're gonna. But yeah, whatever. Don't know anything about it, so have fun. It's a game I'm gonna check out, but I don't know if I'm gonna be purchasing it anytime soon. So, Moving on, we have Mercury Games, makers of a lot of stuff that I actually really enjoy. We have a game called The Walled City, Londonderry, and Borderlands. I am tentatively interested.
This is in my top 15 easily. I'm stoked about this one.
Yeah, I want to check this one out before I want to I would love to be able to demo this one
Let's
and
do
check
it
it out.
together. Let's make a pact right now.
Yes, cut our palms and make it into
spit and shake.
There you go. So that's the one that I want to check out. I'm interested in it.
I will gerrymander your ass.
All right, Minion Games, Battle Merchants. It's a game I already did a review of. I enjoyed it. It's pretty straightforward. I have my son yelling at me right now. Hold on 1 second here. I'm gonna put you on mute here real quick.
All right. Yeah, Battle Merchants. I played that. It's got a two-player variant there, Richard. It's actually decent. Yeah.
See, I kind of assumed it. I kind of dismissed it because again, it's one of those market commodity. The commodity being warring races of dwarves and elves. I figured it wouldn't really work that well with two.
Yeah, it's got a board that you flip over, and then it kind of has like a little bot that you manage. It's not very fiddly at all. It's super just boom, boom.
Okay, yeah.
So I think you might like it. It's good.
Well, I like the idea of it quite a bit.
Yeah. Kind of Lords of War. Hey, it's Godzilla.
My son brought me this.
Aww.
Yes. So, anyway. All right. So we then. Chaosmos. I did a review of this 1,000 years ago. It feels like too.
Yeah.
Another just really weird game of you get to place little traps behind you, and it's like deduction and bluffing. I enjoyed it a great deal. I am looking forward to seeing what the final look of the game will be. A great deal. So, I'm gonna check that out. So, Monolith. Conan Hyborian Quest. Now, this was something if I was interested. Because I read a lot of Conan when I was young. I read all those little pulp paperbacks and everything like that.
A lot of drama in the background there.
Yeah, my daughter was over to hang out, and now my son wants to sit next to me. So if you hear him talking in the background, I apologize. But he can stay here. That's fine. All right, bye, buddy.
Thanks for the
T-Rex. Yeah, thanks to the T-Rex. I don't know. It sounds like this is like they're going to be demoing it, or I don't know. It's one of those things that maybe they're going to be kickstarting eventually. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but it's Conan, so I'll check it out. So.
Well, I'm interested. This is, I believe, one of those. One player is the Overlord, Overmaster. Everybody else hooks up against him. Very asymmetric. What's it like? Middle Earth Quest kind of thing, set in the Hyborian whatevers. So I'm interested for that reason. It'll be interesting. If one player who's having to control multiple characters, well, it depends on how much work you have to put into controlling multiple characters, because, again, I see everything through the two-player prism.
There you go. All right, moving on, we have a game that made my list. Mr. B Games, Alien Uprising.
What? Well, you missed one. That's okay. I don't know. Anyway.
Archetype from Moon Factory. It'll be awesome.
Made your list? Now that's the surprise of the show.
No. Gosh. No, Alien Uprising from Mr. B Games. Richard Lewis.
This one made your list.
This one made my list. I think I might be all in. I might be buying all the expansions and everything for this one. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm definitely. I've been talking to Sean Brown, the guy that is the big Mr. B Games guy, and so I'm definitely stopping by his booth ASAP. I've bugged him enough. I think he's going to hold one of everything for me, so I can definitely get copies. Yep, I'm super excited. I just like the idea of the whole premise behind it, as far as having to survive a certain amount of time as things get progressively tougher and tougher. Plus, it's a big, giant buckets of dice and aliens and spacemen, so there you go.
Yep. I should actually have my copy next week, so look for a video.
Did you Kickstarter it, or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get...
It's co-op. I'm like, okay,
I don't know. I don't know how I missed it as far as the Kickstarter goes. By the time I heard about it, it was already done. So I was like, "Ma." So there you go. Okay, Clockwork Kingdom. I don't know anything about that. So moving on. Realm of Heroes. Don't know anything about that. So moving on. Spurs, A Tale in the Old West. This is a game I've been trying to get hold of for a long time. He said he was going to send me a copy of it to review, but it hasn't shown up yet. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try, just because there's so few real Old West games out there. So
right, that's the same reason I'm interested in it.
Yep.
Yeah, Old West. That's it. That's the only reason I'm interested in it. Because of the name.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Nazca games. They have the Tricks and Treats card game. That's a game that I actually play with my daughter a lot. That looks like they're just gonna have a bunch of those for sale, but also they're going to have copies of Volt Robot Battle Arena. I have a copy of that. I haven't played it yet, so I need to try that out and see what I think, because it looks interesting. Plus, it's robots beating each other up, so that's kind of neat. So there you go. Plus, it's like kind of like I like games with programmed movement and then seeing what happens. I've always kind of liked that a bit. So, North Star Games Evolution. I did a review. I'm pretty sure Richard did as well.
No, I didn't. I'm interested in this game. They actually did contact me. Ryan Metzler actually contacted me. I forget how it is that he's involved with them. And it's interesting. I actually proofread the original Russian manual of this thing like 2 years ago for them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of it. I think the art's really cool looking. I mean, you know me, Jen and me, we're kind of anti-conflict, and I just kind of got hung up on the whole, oh, I will eat all your dinosaurs now, haha. Which I know that's not the point of the game. It's just like an incidental thing. It's not a big conflict game. So I really should give it a try. I really should, because it looks really cool.
Yeah, I would say you should. I played the original game from
the original Russian.
Yeah. And I've looked at the rules. I didn't review this one, but they've taken out a lot of the randomness of it, because in the old one you used to roll dice to see how much food was generated. Well, they've done that. They've very cleverly, I think, done that, where they've made the players kind of decide through the kind of the hand management and the card play based on the card that you kind of submit in kind of a bid. So that takes out the randomness. I actually enjoyed the randomness, because to me it was more thematic than strategic in the old version, and I really liked how the different parts and evolutionary attributes and things would interact with each other and have this little ecosystem at the table. But I'm really interested in this one too. This was a close. This is probably maybe really close to the top 10, but I didn't put it in there because I've kind of already played it. Even though it's a different game now, in some ways. So, but I would say definitely take a look at this one, because even the old one with the randomness, I still really like that. And I think they've taken the game to the next level, it seems like. So.
All right, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of conflict. You just kind of you kind of do it because you have to. It's like, okay, well, I've got to eat your guy. Sorry.
Yeah. No hard feelings, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Nothing personal.
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday. It's a game that's been out for a while, so it's just a game. Out of the box publishing, Quackadoodle Moo, Snake Oil Party Potion. Kids games that I'll check out at some point while I'm there to see if it's something that my daughter would like.
We found Lance's number one.
Yep, his number one.
So we go into Paizo Publishing. Looks like they are going to have big boxes of crap that they'll be giving away to everyone, which nobody cares about. So moving on, we will move on to Bargain Publisher Visible Kingdom. What?
Do we want it?
I'm sorry.
You know what? I don't care. I haven't finished the original. I'm on what is it, box 5, and I don't really have a desire to keep going.
Yeah, you're starting to get burned out, you said. I remember.
Yeah, it's...
But you're playing it almost exclusively solo, right?
Yes, I have been recently.
Yeah,
that's the problem, though. That's the problem. It's not good solo.
No, I would think it's horrible.
No. Hey, Joel, take solo off that sentence you just said.
Okay.
FTFW or FTFY.
Yeah, I see. You said it's not good solo, and I said just take the solo off there, and then
you're a silly man, a lovely man, but a silly man. The game's not great. I mean, to me, it's a 7, and what got me so excited was the persistence or the promise of it, and then it broke my heart, Fredo. It ripped my heart out of my chest when I found out there is no true persistence to that game. It brought a tear to my eye, much like your tear, Lance, when your daughter first played King of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's
No,
not going
it's
anywhere.
just. But I'm sure. I joke and I laugh, and there's many people really excited about the game, and good for them. But no, thank you. So, Peaceful
Next.
Kingdom looks like a bunch of some kids games. Once again, I'll be checking those out as I always do, and
Good
then
man.
we move on to Plaid Hat Games, and this is my number 3, Dead of Winter Crossroads. I have a
Number 3. Have we hit your number 1 yet?
No, you have not.
Yeah, because this was my odds-on favorite. I have to admit.
Dead of Winter, I've played it now probably a dozen times because I have Jonathan Gilmour's personal handmade copy, who he was kind enough to give me. I love this game. I'm going to be doing a review of it very, very shortly. I'm going to get that one done for sure before Gen Con because I want everybody to go there and buy a copy of this because it is one of the best co-op games. It actually makes you choose like there's definitely it isn't every game, but there's definitely moments where you're like, oh, when you have to like, so do we eat the other people so we survive, or do we it's like hard choices of do you allow the girl that hid her pregnancy to live in your little enclave?
No,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, it's just like
Well,
things like you have to make these like really like. Well, here's one that isn't so moralistic.
No,
It's like
no, man. Where's the mute
no, like
La, 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 la.
okay. But there's
All
just awesome little moments, and there's at least a good 1 or 2 of those in every game that I've played. So,
Cool.
pick it up. You won't be upset with this. This is I've been pretty lukewarm on a lot of Plaid Hat games, but other than Ice and Mystics, but this one is pretty amazing. So
This
there you
one
go.
would be in my top 5, but I expect to have it before, so we'll see.
Yes, you will see. All right, so
it is not in my
there's-
top 10 because as a 2-player game, all its magic is lost. Because in a 2-player game, it's a pure co-op and bleh.
Yeah.
There you go. Mice and Mystics, I will probably pick that up eventually, just because I want to add it on to what I already have. But whatever. Probably not Gen Con. And there's some Summoner Wars stuff, which meh.
Skip.
And Video Game High School, I'm mildly interested in just seeing it, but I don't really care one way or the other. So.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
It's
All right,
some TV show, apparently, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
How
Portal
old are
game.
we?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually,
All right, we got-
Joel, you should be very excited about the high school game because it's BioShock Infinite designer.
Yes. Yeah.
I was suddenly curious.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, you got 12 minutes before you got to fix your toilet, so let's move on here.
Yeah.
Okay, Portal games. Here's my number 6, Imperial Settlers.
It's my number 2.
Yep. I enjoyed the hell out of 51st State, and so I'm really excited to play this one. So there you go.
Yeah. Same here.
I can't really say much more about that. Some Neuroshima Hex stuff. I never got into that game, probably because I'm a horrible person.
Oh, let me say something about Imperial Settlers. My number 2. It has a theme that I can actually play with the family versus Imperial 51st State, which I can only play with the gamer group. So there you go.
There you go. All right, and then we're just moving on because we gotta move at a breakneck speed.
By the way,
now.
actually, you're right, but I'm going to go back to Imperial Settlers again because I just kind of spaced out. Because actually, I think this was like the 3rd most popular guess for me for my top 10. And so everybody out there, sorry, it wasn't in my top 10 at all. Because I am waiting patiently for rules to be made available to this game. Where are the goddamn rules? I'm just
Aren't
and
they
I can't
online?
commit to the game because I want to read because there's supposedly a variant that takes out the aggressive destroying of other people's stuff. And until I get to read those rules, sorry. Anyway, Ray, continue. We are running out.
All right. Post-Human Studios publisher Shinobi Clans. I don't know anything about this, so moving on. Privateer Press. Somehow, someone somewhere is actually buying the level 7 games, and God bless you. But I have never, after the first one, I am just not a fan of that system. I'm not a fan of that world and that system and everything. It just bad taste in my mouth. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Meh.
Yeah, and then they're doing out some more War Machine stuff for their card game, which isn't a bad card game, but it's just one of those been there, done that type of living card game stuff. So it is what it is. So
yeah, it is what it is.
yeah, it's if you're into War Machines and Hordes, I guess the game is absolutely amazing. So and that's my understanding. So there you go. Queen Games. Fresco Big Box, well, Fresco I thought was a solid game. I don't know why we need a big box of stuff for it, but
because
whatever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the best games of all time. Well, not that,
Oh,
but because it's certainly one of the best gateway games out there. Easily. Much, much better. But that's just my 2P, as they say.
Well, there you go. We go on to Greed. Okay, thank you. We go on to Greed, a game I'm interested in, but I need to play it first just to check it out.
Same.
Tortuga.
I would have been excited about it, but the theme pretty much kills it because Jen's not going to be interested in playing it, which is too bad because unlike a lot of people, we've liked every Donald X Vaccarino game, liked to loved, and probably enjoy this too because we love card drafting, but I don't think Jen wants to run a prostitution ring.
Yeah.
I don't mean to ask you just to derail us here, but did you actually like Nefarious? Because that game was horrible.
No, it's good. It's interesting. The first time we played Nefarious, like, well, okay, let's just give it one more try. And playing the second time and seeing how just because of a couple of tweaks, that second game played radically different than our first one is what made us enjoy the game. The fact that you get so much variety just out of changing those headlines. So I would certainly say that's not the one we loved. That one's definitely more on the like side, alongside Gauntlet of Fools, whereas we love Kingdom Builder and we love Dominion. And what's the other one? Infiltration. Would have loved that one, except we don't like having to control multiple characters. So that was unfortunate. We didn't think it was a very good two-player game, but we thought it was very cool.
Okay, cool. Tortuga. Tortuga is a game I'm interested in checking out. It didn't make my list,
Belfort
but
guy. Belfort.
Yep. That's why I'm interested. Plus, it's a family dice game, and so you have me at family dice game, something I can play with my wife and my daughter. So, something I want to take a look at, but it did not make my top 10.
And Pirates.
And Pirates, of course, Pirates. R&R Games, they have, looks like New Haven as long as their mini expansion. I haven't played New Haven. It's a game I want to try out, so maybe if I have some chance, I'll do that. I'm just going to gloss over these. Get a Life, Guess the Mess. Hearts of Attraction, because it's magnets. I'm actually really kind of interested in this one. Just because I think it'll be kind of... I want to set it up and play it. It looks like it might be a game that my my wife and I would have fun just goofing around with and just playing when we were bored. So there you go. Strike Oppose. No, thank you. Moving on to Repos Productions. Seven Wonders expansion. I'm kind of over Seven Wonders expansions, but I mean, somebody might be interested in Babel. I don't know.
I'm interested. I think it'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has the potential to be better than some of the other ones, because I really do like the notion of, hey, game-changing laws, they come in, they go out, players actually vote on them. I think that's something that works brilliantly in Lancaster, so I'm hoping it works well here.
No, I'm kind of maybe I'm just past my Seven Wonders phase in my life. I mean, I guess I don't need it to be any more complex than it already is. I guess, and that's just my feeling as far as that goes.
Well, it is interesting to compare. Well, actually, no. I was going to start comparing and contrasting Among the Stars. We don't have time, but it is interesting to compare and contrast the way those two games have handled their expansions. Because Among the Stars is just pure more content. We're not changing anything, just giving you more content. Maybe just giving a little bit extra, whereas everything for Seven Wonders has always been, boom, here's a completely new thing that changes the game radically.
Which I don't like. So
yes, which you, I believe, stated earlier.
Yes, Cash and Guns Second Edition, fine, great. Cash and Guns is a fun game to play, and I enjoyed playing it with my friends. I don't like the new art. I don't like the fact that they went with more cartoony than serious. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, it's just you're trying to make cartoons for kids to point guns at each other. That's ridiculous. So, Masquerade from what?
That's not new.
Yeah, no, it's not new at all. But I mean, it's like, but apparently, like, well, it's been out of print for a while. But I thought it was back in print now. So I don't know. That came out we played that at last Gen Con. That's really weird. Rio Grande Games is just also continues just not to have a booth. They just don't. I don't understand that. Why don't they have a booth?
They have a room. Yeah.
They have a room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like that nobody goes. I don't know anything about Temporum. I might be.
It's from Con Extravaganza.
Yep.
That's what
that's the only thing I need to know. That's the only thing I know about it. It's from him.
Well, what's that Steve Jackson game that I really want to love? That's time travel. It's all about changing the timeline and stuff like that, and saving Kennedy, and then it causes ripples. And I mean, it seems like this is that you can actually see the board there. I like that notion that there's a key moment, and you can make it go left or right, and then see how that plays out. I like that idea, and I like Donald X. Vaccarino. So that's why it's my number 4.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. Yeah, awesome. There you go. Sorry we couldn't. I feel bad that we can't. You and your stupid toilet. Anyway,
keep going.
Robert Burke Games, Draco Magi or Draco Magi or whatever. That's like a game that went over like bonkers on Kickstarter, 2-player. So good for them. I'll try it out. Yep. And Robert Burke made one of the best kids games ever, Cartoona. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
Offensive band name generator, meh, whatever. Operation Faust, I like the theme, but I'll meh.
I like the theme, and I like the fact that this is a heavy bluffing game. So it actually sounds very, very cool from a gameplay point of view as well. I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I thought about this one for the list because, again, Battle for Souls really surprised us how good it was.
Yeah, it's a great game. Excellent game. So, Friday the 13th from Le Scorpion Mask. It's a Reiner game, so moving on. Let's see here.
It's a redo of Poison or something like that.
Yeah, man, whatever. Set Enterprises Incorporated. Does anybody play Set anymore? I mean, really? Honestly? Karma, Set Dice, whatever. Sherwood Games, In the City, Harbor.
I saw a video that the designer for this put out last year when he put the first one out, and it really looked really good. I've been interested in this game ever since I saw him talking very passionately about his game. Card drafting kind of thing, building up, snowballing, the earlier guy. Actually, a very thematic version of Splendor, basically, is City Harbor, a heavier version of Splendor. They're the same basic kind of game. So I've been interested in this one for a while, but can't get it over here in Europe. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out.
Okay. Well, I mean, cool. Thank you. It was on my radar, so I appreciate you telling me that. Okay, moving on. Smirk and Dagger Games. They will have a game called Student Bodies, which I am mildly interested, just because it's like a zombie game once again. But it's a trusting game. It's like you have to be you have to get out and get the antidote and each other, and it's one of those. That's the one thing I'm worried about as far as the game is concerned. Yeah.
Yes. That's it.
Sorry. All right. So that's definitely a check it out. I'm going to definitely check that one out. Sparks Games, looks like the card art is interesting for Hypocrisy. If you take a look at that, I was just kind of like interesting. That's neat. She seems cute, but I have known nothing about the game at all. So moving on. Steve Jackson Games. The only thing I want to mention here is that they're finally going to have the reprint of the small box of Car Wars, which I played 1,000 times when I was a child, and I will pick up one of these little boxes just to have because mine was lost to the ages. I think it was lost in my my friend Darren Birch's basement when I was like 13 years old. So I will finally own a small box of Car Wars once again. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But other than that, I don't think Steve Jackson Games really has anything else.
Munchkin Panic.
Whatever. Well,
Am I
Mars
the only
attacks
person on
dice
Earth that
game.
doesn't like Car Wars?
Yes.
Am I the only person on Earth? Am I? Okay. I just
Well,
just
once
curious.
again, you're an F-bomb communist. So moving
That's
on.
right. I forgot.
Mini Car Wars, like a little baggy game. Munchkin Adventure Time, meh, who cares? I do love the fact that whenever they do the thing, they say we make Munchkin so we can afford to make everything else. And
Yeah.
like every time I look at Ogre, my giant Ogre set, I remember I wouldn't own this if Munchkin didn't exist. So,
Stronghold.
Stronghold Games, Diamonds. I'm sure it'll be awesome. It's a trick-taking game. I definitely want to check it out because I really enjoy trick-taking games. But whenever I play a trick-taking game, I wonder. Yeah, it doesn't. You have to have at least the 3 or 4.
I don't even know why they bother calling it 2. It's not going to be any good with 2. It just never is. Ever.
Hey, you need to try Potato Man. That's a good trick-taking game with 2.
Speedy Sharks nominee trick-taking game, I believe. All right, I'll look at it.
Yeah,
oh, no, it won,
recommended.
didn't it? Yeah.
No, recommended.
But here's my number 4, Panamax.
This was going to be the one. If there was one that's on all of our lists on this whole thing, I would have said Panamax.
Number 6.
So you and me, number 6, and I'm number 3.
Yep.
So game of the show.
I feel bad that we can't talk about it more, but I mean, if this game is half the game, and I said this a while ago, I tweeted this like a year ago or so, if Panamax is half the game that Madeira is, it'll still be better than like 100% of what gets put out. I mean, because Madeira is such an amazing, awesome game, and if this comes even close to being as good, yeah, there you go. Nuno Centenario is just awesome. Go ahead.
I think the other designer that they're working with, Gil, he's certainly not as renowned, but I thought, what was it, Caravella's was actually, considering the fact that it was a pick up and deliver, which we don't generally like, it was still a really clever game and had some really interesting stuff in it. So I'm happy for all of them, and I'm super stoked because of Madeira. I actually did a preview for this at Essen last year, like literally a half an hour before Stronghold signed the game. And I was very impressed by it. Physically, on the table, all those dice laid out, it's gorgeous looking. I'm really stoked for it. Should be great.
Then moving on to Space Cadets Dice Duel Die Fighter. I want to check this one out. I think it'll be interesting. The Space Cadets world is just getting better and better. I do know the Space Cadets away missions thing that they're going to be doing. Everything they add to it is just adding another level of awesomeness to the whole
breaks
world.
My heart. I so want to play Space Cadets as a 2-player game, and I mean I've actually talked to Jeff Engelstein about this a little bit. What it strikes me that he should be doing is making a cooperative version so that 2 people can work on the same team, and between the 2 of them or more, run a ship and go up against game-generated obstacles and whatnot. It strikes me as so doable, but instead we get a little dogfighting 2-player game.
Understandable. All right, so moving on to Studio 9 games. One of these things where Treasures and Traps. This game's been around forever. I don't know anything about. I just never played it. Never had any interest. I'm sure there's a fan base. So cool.
It's a cute little game. We have actually played Treasures and Traps. It's a nice take that. It's very cute art, very fast playing, very much a Steve Jackson-y kind of take that. Just punch, punch, punch until somebody emerges victorious with a lot of theme and humor.
All right, then Tasty Minstrel. These are my boys. I have a copy of Bomb Squad actually, and it is awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. I have Bomb Squad. One of the games I have to do a review of to launch.
Why do you have that? Why do I not have that?
I don't know, because it costs a lot of money to send stuff to you.
That is true. I've had big troubles getting stuff.
Whereas $11, they can priority mail something to me. I get it in 2 days. So
it's my number 7.
Oh, good.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, don't worry. The game's awesome. So
it's excellent.
I'm glad to hear
this was one of the prototypes I was mentioning earlier that I couldn't talk about, but that's one of the videos. Yeah.
Everybody's playing it but me. It's not even on your goddamn lists.
But I played it.
Yeah, Richard, I will see if I'm sure they won't air 2 hits. I will be able to.
I've already talked to him about seeing it at the show.
Well, I know, but I mean, so you have a copy that you can take home with you, and then you can make a review of it when you get home.
Yeah, they've talked about that.
Oh well, you know what? I never want to do anything nice for you again.
That's really fun. The one reason it's not on my list is because I've already played it, and actually, like, I really like Hanabi. Honestly, it's probably one of my top 10 games of all time, and I like this one. Just like, I'm like, why do I want to play Hanabi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like City Hall will finally come out, which cool, whatever. I've heard. I remember I played a demo of that, I think, last year at Gen Con. So, all right, and then Twilight Creations, Jupiter Rescue. I thought this game would interest me, but then I looked at it and I was like, yeah, no, it just
Pick up and deliver. Meh.
I think it looks cool. I don't know. It looks Knizia-like, so I like it. Oh, we lost Lance.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
He'll come back.
Has your friend showed up yet? You're 5 minutes late, basically.
No, I was gonna call him. We're good. We'll push it. We'll keep pushing. It's fine.
Push.
Yeah.
We always had 4 hours. There's nothing wrong with your toilet at all.
No, there is.
The controversy.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a false flag. All right. Jupiter Rescue. This looks cool. It looks kind of Knizia-like, so I'm interested.
I guess
I'll just
I
keep
can see
narrating
that.
here. Zombies.
Walk in, pick up the people, walk them all the way over to the escape pod, walk back in, and just which is all the pods moving around, right? That's basically.
Yeah. So
so
I have
it's
some
great
interest
like
in
pick
it.
up and deliver.
Yeah, which I do.
Well then.
Yeah. So next couple are zombies games. On like Lance said earlier about another
zombies
game.
game. They're awesome, right?
Yeah. They have their following, but.
I wore my
Yeah, they have their
zombies
following. Hey,
badge with honor, with pride.
Oh yeah.
So,
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's all I got to say about
good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
He made a great game, and I played a lot of beer and pretzels time with that one.
Yep,
So.
yeah, he made a lot of people very happy. A lot of
Exactly.
people love the hell out of that game. So that was great. Great legacy. Making people
2 penny
happy.
games. There you go.
Yep.
2 penny games. Don't know anything about it, so I'm going to move forward.
3-player.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Upper deck.
Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game. I have no interest in playing a legendary with aliens. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, really. I would have thought this would have made one of your lists.
No.
No, it's.
You don't know us. Who are you, man?
Legendary
Take over,
Villain-
man.
Legendary Villains. It's a great game.
That looks neat.
I bought it. No, it is.
Okay.
It's awesome. I got rid of my other. I'll just play Villains on its own.
Wow. Okay. So I'm sorry. So you do love Legendary. It's just Legendary applied to aliens. It's a total turnoff for you.
Yeah, the aliens theme. It doesn't do anything for me. I guess if you want to make me an aliens
in
game,
general, not aliens.
No,
applied
the
to
aliens. Yeah, the aliens movie franchise. I like it. I love it. And everything like that. But you know what? You want to make an aliens franchise game? Reprint the old Aliens Tactics game that came out that my copy got destroyed somewhere along the way. Somebody remake that, and then I'll be happy. So, okay. Well, here's a bunch of stuff that Joel likes. The USA Opoly.
Yeah.
No. Bang, The Walking
Tactics,
Dead.
no.
I'll just play Bang. Sorry, Tactics. No, thank you. V3G, Incredibrawl from Jacob Lehman. It's a good game. I think the problem with that was it came out at the same time as Smash Up, so nobody really cared about it. They kind of thought they were both the same game, and they aren't. So it's definitely a look-see if you like that kind of game. Strife. Don't know anything about that at all. So I'm going to move forward. Voodoo Bunny Company, LLC. Once again, I don't know anything about this stuff. The Incredible Expeditions, Quest for Atlantis, the whole steampunk thing I do kind of enjoy. So I was like one of those things where I wanted to look into it, but not enough that I was going to put it on my list. So
Yeah, I don't know. Tiffany Ralph, the one tar, she did a video of it and she said she really liked it. So she seems like a smart cookie. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of
she is.
interested just for that. I like the idea of, first half of the game, build your deck, which represents your steamship. Second half of the game, get it beat to heck and back because a bunch of bad things happen. And will it survive the deck you built? I think that's pretty cool.
yeah. All right, we're on page 9.
What?
And yeah.
Yep. Just skip the Yamaya.
Wiggity Bang Games, Alpha Bandits, no thank you. WizKids, I'll be interested to actually just go to the WizKids play spot because I like hanging out with those guys and talking to them. And we are going to finally get to my number one game from Yamaya, Hyperborea. This, yeah,
oh, really?
of course.
Tell me why.
Everything I've read about it, everything just sounds really cool. I like the whole the one thing is the bag building, not dice building, but like you have cubes in your bag, and you're building that bag, and then you're drawing the random cubes from the bags. And ever since I played like Pillars of the Earth, where everybody's workers in the bag, and you're drawing them out, and you're like, and what you draw out determines what you get to do. I love that idea. It looks like it's totally overproduced, and it's got a great theme, and I think it'll be awesome. So there you go.
Almost made my list.
$100 awesome?
I think it'll be $100 awesome. I will schmooze. I will schmooze them and see if I can get a free copy. I doubt it, but I will.
Free review copy, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will drop the Benny and pick that one up if need be. So
I have a bad history with that one, unfortunately. At one point I was very excited. It was like one of the highest requested videos of me that I do at Essen last year. So I went over to their booth a couple times. I always was told, come back later, they'll be here later. I come back one time, and they said, oh, they're in the back, go back and talk to them. And they were back there playing a game of Hanabi. And they were really serious and really intense. You know, that kind of Hanabi where no one talks, nobody jokes, anything. And I didn't want to interrupt them, so I kind of stood there hoping they'd see I'm standing there, and I wanted to talk to them about covering Hyboria. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and they just ignored me. And I'm starting to, and eventually, should I leave? Should I interrupt it? And then some other guy that they knew came in, and they just all immediately stopped and started joking and laughing around, and I'm like, what, am I invisible? And so I just walked away, and Hyboria died for me that day because they just totally gave me the cold shoulder. And I was trying to be polite, and it's like, ugh. But I'm sure it's a great game. So that has nothing to do with whether it's a good game or not. But ugh.
Well, you know what? I'll drop the $100, and me, you, and Joel have to play it one night.
All right.
Yep.
Good man.
Sounds good. All right, good deal.
And the next
finally,
is my number one.
Yeah, I figured this would be your number one, and this almost made my 10. Yeah. So the battle at Kemble's Cascade.
Yep, looks awesome. I don't know what to tell you. It's a simulation of a Galaga, a Space Invaders game, and it looks great. I love how you tech around the board, and then you fight the big boss, and it looks really cool. But I'm just going to say that because we're trying to wrap up, but that's my number one for sure.
No,
I'm not complaining.
No question.
And suck up a lot of time because I love it. I'm a child of the arcade 80s. I played my share of Galaga. Here's the thing that bugs me about it. Playing those old games, they were cooperative games. They were a semi-co-op because you worked together. You didn't shoot each other. And that's the one thing that strikes a bad note with me with Kemble's Cascade is it's just as much about shooting each other as about taking out the aliens, and that seems inappropriate to the theme. And I was really surprised by that. But other than that, I agree. I think it's really cool. I'm really stoked about it. And that was just like the one sour note it hit. It's like, in Galaga, we don't shoot each other. We both shoot the aliens. That's... But I'm being pedantic. I know it.
I understand.
People know it.
I understand the thought, but that doesn't bother me at all. So.
Yeah.
Chimera?
So just Chimera. I had somebody tell me that somebody who had played it said it was pretty fun. I'll check it out. Pandemic expansion, no thank you. I know you're a big fan of Pandemic, Richard, so I'm sure you're excited about it.
Pandemic. You know this is nothing like Pandemic, right?
I know.
You play as the virus trying to destroy the world. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've had such a hatred for Pandemic for so long that playing something of its name, I guess, would probably make you break out in hives or something. I don't know.
Had the game just been called Contagion?
Yeah.
Maybe. And it probably was. And then they said, wait, we could just throw the Pandemic name on here, and we'll sell 10,000 more copies.
In all honesty, it really, really does. Not in a bad.
All right, let's go.
I'll say this.
Who cares? Pandemic.
Oh no, hold on.
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't think it's.
Okay, and I'll say that the Tragedy Looper deduction game. I am mildly interested in that. I think the whole thing that it lasts 2 hours is ridiculous, but I want to check that one out just because of whatever. And then we have finally Zafty Publishing.
My last game, the Tragedy Looper.
Oh, okay.
I am super stoked because of the deduction thing, because you often don't get hopefully good deduction games that can play with only 2, so that's a big deal. And Jen is the biggest fan in the universe. I mean, this is Quantum Leap crossed with Groundhog Day. You know, this is you going back in time to make right what once went wrong, and you get 3 chances to do it because you keep going and seeing how the world changes every time you do it. That is awesome. Jen loves Quantum Leap. She loves Nowhere Man. She loves all those kinds of shows, so I know she's going to love the theme, and I think it has a potential to be really, really cool.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
No,
so
that's
now,
cool, man. That's cool.
So now should we recap our top 10 and then you can announce the winner and then we can wrap it up?
Yep. Here, I'll do mine quick. Number 1, Hyperborea.
Wait. Let's just. I thought we'd each do our 10, each do our 9. I don't know.
Okay, number 10, King of New York.
Richard and then me.
Zombie 15.
Witcher adventure game.
Number 9, Samurai Spirit.
Destination Neptune.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Number 8, Five Tribes.
Bomb Squad.
Sons of Anarchy.
You guys aren't saying it with like dramatic pauses or anything. Making me look like a chump.
Number 7,
Yeah.
Abyss.
Okay.
Samurai Spirit. Sucker.
Epic Resort.
Gotcha.
All right. Number 6, Imperial Settlers.
Subdivision.
Panamax.
Nice.
Number 5, Alien Uprising.
Tragedy Looper.
Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Number 4 is Panamax.
Temporum.
The Battle of Five Armies.
Number 3, Dead of Winter.
Panamax.
Sentinel Tactics, The Flame of Freedom.
Number 2, Shadows of Brimstone, both sets.
5, count 'em, 5 tribes.
Imperial Settlers.
And number 1, Hyperborea.
Number 1, Consequential.
The real number 1, The Battle at Kemble's Cascade. Okay, Richard, who's the winner?
Right, hold on. Let me. I've had this Excel sheet open for hours now. I gotta pull it back up. Right. A total of 255 entries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure everybody knows how we did the scoring. Nobody got all of us correct. But one person got 28 out of 30 points.
So they got 2 number 1s and a number 2?
Yep. This lucky person guessed my number 1, Consequential, and Lance's number 1, Hyboria, and your Sentinel Tactics, Flames of the Flame.
Okay.
And that lucky person with 28 points is Mary. Spelled like Mary Brandebuck like a hobbit. So congratulations, Mary. You are the clear winner. We had 4 runners-up with 27 points. Thomas Bergman, Paul MacArthur, Marco Rajic, and Joseph F. For the runners-up, I'm sorry you get nothing.
Okay.
But the winner is Mary with 28 points, just shy. If only she could have read your mind a little bit better, Joel, or he, because it's Mary. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. But congratulations again to Mary. Mary, as our winner, will get, courtesy of the 3 of us, and we'll all be ponying up for this, right? We agreed to this, right?
That's right.
A copy of Hyboria for $100. What have you done to us? Or Consequential, which will come out someday in the far future, and or a copy of Sentinel Tactics. That is his or her choice, Mary. Hyboria, Consequential, or Sentinel Tactics. And there you go. And I hope she doesn't pick Hyboria because that's crazy expensive. Yo.
Yes. Well,
right.
hey,
Well,
I want to thank you guys. We did that in about 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is good. I'm just gonna tell you, I made up the whole story about the toilet. No, I'm just joking. It's real. No, anyway, but Richard, I gotta say thanks a bunch for coordinating the contest and getting the word out there. And, doing your Excel wizardry. And Lance, thanks for being the MC and keeping us moving along and all that good stuff. And I look forward to seeing both of you in Indianapolis in a month, less than a month now. It's a couple of weeks. Who's excited? This guy.
No, it's gonna be awesome. I've got so much stuff to do between now and then, so I'm excited, but man, I don't have enough time. So
Yeah.
Who's excited about a 20-hour flight?
Oh, jeez. Yikes.
Yippee!
I don't like flying at all.
Thank everybody for watching too. This is definitely, I think, the most watched live thing I've had on this channel anyway. So that's awesome, and I was chatting with people, in the chat, and I appreciate it, and hopefully everybody had fun. It wasn't too long, and
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Are you going to take off? I mean, do you still have some time? Do we want to do Q&A stuff, or
I don't have time
is
for
it
that.
time to go? That toilet, she's about to blow.
Yeah. No, I got a jet, guys. I apologize for that, but I appreciate it. We'll do a Q&A or some more informal thing, Q&A one of these days with the three of us.
Okay.
We'll just like a general thing, maybe after the convention. We do a post Gen Con thing. We can talk about our. Well, I'm sound like I'm committing to a thing, but I think that would be fun. So maybe we can do something like that. So anyway, bye bye everybody.
Okay, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.